whole time. Morning, people. It is Thursday, the 15th of May. Welcome to TDA, the day after. Your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture, as defined by the culture. And as always, you are hosted by amazing, cool, talented, great people. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm one of them. My royalty.
Good morning, beautiful
Brent is
people.
here, of course.
I hope you're all blessed and highly favored. Let's do a roll call.
The curator.
The curator.
Did I been called the curator? You've never been called that. I just called you that.
I've never been called that in my life.
Just from now. I like the curator.
That, I'll take that only because you give it to me.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Good morning, Energy. Good morning, 9 Ether. Gin and Gist, Eddie Carbone. DCF Mooks, Christy, Mr. Ashlows, good morning. Amy Snow Globe, good morning. Lynn M32, Teddy Tibbs, Star Crow, Bex, Catherine, Chijoke, Izzy Bambino, Davina, Crucial J. Are you enjoying the weather, Esther? I've
been loving the weather. It's cold today though. It's 12 degrees today. I love the sun. I thrive in the sun. Like the sun is just love the sun. But it's cold today. Today's a bit cold and chilly. And it's definitely affecting my mood. Doesn't help that I didn't have that much sleep. Only 5 hours.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I didn't have much sleep too, so...
Yeah, but, you're used to that.
Yeah.
For now.
Amen.
The joke is that when you think you should be... When it's like, when it's time for you to then start having more sleep...
Yes,
you're not... then different reasons.
It will kick in, don't worry. I'm going to insist on it.
Brent, I hope so.
Yeah, I'm going to break down. There are a couple of Spotify comments. I apologize.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Let's see.
I ain't been checking on them.
Have you put them in now?
Yeah, I'm putting them in now.
All right.
And that's wonky.
I'll do the first one. Good damn.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Should I do the first one that you put there?
Yes, please.
E-man, we get it. You don't like Christianity. You don't have to use every opportunity you get to take a shot at Christianity. You have been doing this for the past 2 to 3 months. You don't read the Bible. If you have ever read it, you will understand it is not to pacify people. Read Matthew 10, verse 28 and 34. I'm going to read that for y'all 1 second.
Yeah.
And tell me what you think. Let's see. Matthew, what was it?
Matthew 10,
28.
28 and 34.
28 says, I've got it highlighted actually.
Oh, wow.
You see that highlight?
Good.
Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Well, some morning show. Good morning. 34, verse 34 says, do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Let me do 35 too, just so you get context. For I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Essentially, I'm going to take 37 because then you get the context of why this is said. Anyone who loves their father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Anyone who loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Amen.
And amen.
To be fair, Iman doesn't... does Iman have church hurt or something?
Does it feel like how I am perceiving it whilst in here, outside to people?
How do you perceive it? Because I know how I perceive it while I'm in here and when I'm off here. Same way.
Many times when it is, I feel as though like it's an agenda, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a considered effort to bring awareness to quote unquote Christians about things about Christianity they may not know about.
Yeah.
Things that may question their foundation. He says, no, I'm not doing it for that.
That's exactly
but it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean a damn thing.
What he says he's not trying to do is what he then goes on to basically to do,
Yeah.
right? And that's the sure way to know what he's saying. Just look for the disclaimer,
Yeah.
right? But I'm his good friend.
And you
I
think
know
that.
this.
Yeah, so,
I know this.
Yeah, so I think the same thing. And I think that's what this person said. I think he does go out of his way, like whenever he can, and he makes sure he can. So it's not whenever.
He finds
It's
the
when
time.
he makes the time. He prioritizes.
I like that. Instead,
that.
he makes the time.
He makes the time.
You know, when you called me a curator, he's a conductor,
Okay.
right? Of finding the time,
All right.
making the time.
Okay. Preacher. I can break through this. But he goes out of, like, I don't want to be harsh with my words, but he really goes.
You just did it. She did it.
Yeah, but I wasn't harsh.
Here she goes.
But I wasn't harsh with my words then. I didn't say what I was
about
thinking.
to come.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Right.
Because if I said what I wanted to say, he might never speak to me again.
Possible.
But he does go out, like, that's how, does he have church hurts? Because it's like, he comes from a place of like, I've, like, almost like my eyes have been cleared.
Yeah.
I'm no longer brainwashed.
Yeah.
Like the rest of you fools.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to put you on to something. And it's like, he's not a Christian. I don't consider Emmanuel a Christian though.
But he said he's not a Christian.
Yeah, but he has
Early days he did. Early days he said
but
he
early
was.
days, you say early days was February.
As in early days, like years ago. Because when he got introduced,
Yeah, but
people thought he was a Christian.
When I met him on TDA, he hasn't stopped being a Christian. Well, and he wasn't a Christian from day one I met him. But that's another thing, right?
Yeah.
But he's claimed to be a Christian.
Yes.
Because I remember so well, when you sat there and you said, are you this or you that? He's like, no, I am a Christian. He's claimed to be a Christian way many times.
Yeah.
And personally, I've always found it such a contradiction that he speaks about Christianity in the way he does.
Yeah.
And the faith the way he does, but then also in the same breath will claim to be a Christian.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm glad that he's in a place now where he's not saying he's a Christian anymore, because he's not.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised because his language has changed around his relationship with Jesus Christ.
Oh, he's definitely more confident in his that's why I say some.
Yeah.
He's definitely more comfortable in his unbelief.
And I think that is necessary if you are, embracing Farrakhan as much as he does.
Yeah.
You can't still claim that you're clinging on to Jesus
You got to serve one master.
Precisely.
It has one master, yeah.
He's made his decision.
Absolutely.
It's going to be the man who he basically took a
But
picture
I like
with.
that though, because I think it's less damage. I think there's people that
100%.
criticize Christianity all the time.
Yeah.
But I've always been worried about being on a platform where you're claiming to be a Christian, but then the things you say leaves people in a confused state. I don't like the idea of leaving people in a confused state, because then you make other Christians feel as though they missed something. If you go to SPAC Nation, just like Emmanuel finds time, I'm always find time. I've always got time for SPAC Nation. Always. My final words on this earth
man.
might be F SPAC Nation. But if you go to SPAC Nation, absolutely question that. Please do. Please. Okay? Please. But I think it is worrisome, like, because even like with me and the expression, I think all Christians should feel like that, but the expression of my faith, I do have a sense of responsibility to not confuse other Christians and to not turn them away from the faith. Do you know what I mean? Like, to just not bring chaos to people's beliefs. True beliefs. Because I absolutely will bring chaos when you are part of an organization that claims to be Christian but is not. Whenever I talk about Christianity, I'm talking about the real McCoy. I'm talking about faith. I'm talking about grace. I'm talking about salvation. I'm not talking about name and proclaim 5 private jets. I ain't got time for that. No.
Prosperity gospel.
Not doing that.
No.
So big up you anyway, the guy who wrote that.
I don't think he has church hurt though, because
I think he does. I think he's got trauma because he went to a white garment church as well.
But that was when he was in primary and secondary school.
Yeah, but he hasn't dealt with it though. Because I think also as well, if his parents still, like if he's still got family members that still go to the churches, and like the churches, if they still belong to the faith that he feels scorned by or he doesn't believe in, or whatever the case is, in my mind, when they have family gatherings and stuff, faith will come up. You know how black people are. Wherever they're gathered, with 2 or more gathered, they're going to talk about Jesus and whatnot. So in my mind, like yes, he was so long ago, it might have been primary school, secondary school, whatever the case is, but things like that stay with you because in different walks of life, you're still reminded of it. And then you come on a platform like me, And here you are. Well, he's known you all his life, so that hasn't helped. And here I am, here as well. So like, yeah, you're always going to be reminded of that, what you went through in primary and secondary school, whatever that might look like. And he hasn't done the work to deal with it. So of course he's always going to speak, because he gets really like annoyed.
Yeah, he does. But maybe he has the truth. Maybe he's the truth bearer.
He's not.
He's the truth bringer.
He's not.
He's the truth giver.
He's not.
How do you know? How do you know that where we sit is in the wrong
I'm not
part
saying
of
it's
the
definitely
room?
not the wrong
And
part.
he's sitting in the right part of the room. And he wants us to
He's
basically
definitely not.
share in the
He's
light.
not. He's not, because he's a walking contradiction. And respectfully, he doesn't practice what he preaches. Because you sit here telling me about Ifa and all these people as well, but you don't even serve them.
How do you know that?
And because he said he doesn't.
To be honest,
You've asked him that and he said he has not.
I know a person who practices Afa, right? That's the
Yeah.
Ghanaian version, right?
Oh, nice.
Okay.
No, I'm just like, Ifa.
Very good. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nah.
And I don't think Emmanuel does what this person does.
Emmanuel doesn't do it. I'll be honest with you, yeah. Emmanuel cannot do it. Do you know, and this is my thing when people talk about this, because even everyone that loves to talk about African spirituality, do you know what's been so funny online actually? Because we've obviously still being conversations about sinners and whatnot. And people are like, oh my gosh, you guys, the colonizers done a number on you because you're cussing African spirituality, but somehow Greek mythology is fine. I'm like, no, neither's fine. Neither. I'm against that too. So who is that? Like, who would blame me for that? But what I find interesting with stuff like that is when people, and this is why I can't say that someone, not just Emmanuel, but anybody who's all over the place with their thinking, I cannot believe that you hold the truth, because you're all over the place with your thinking. Because the reality is that when you see what this religion or this spirituality practice entails, you're not going to do it. It's just always fun for you to act like, to be in spaces where you get to be the different person, and not different in like a haha you're weirdo, but different as in like you get to feel this form of empowerment of like, I'm different to the way everyone else is. It's an ego thing. It's an ego trip. It's like, oh, I am different to the way everyone else thinks, and I am woke, and I am so intelligent and brilliant because I have tapped into a different world that you guys haven't seen before. But the reality is that you don't even practice what you keep making noise to us about. And again, this is anybody who believes in stuff like that. So even people that have been online talking about African spirituality, oh my gosh, you guys are so disrespectful. You don't practice it though. And I'm not saying just because you speak about it, you should practice it. But the way you're making so much noise, the least you could do is flip and practice it, no? If you believe it's so great.
And obviously, this African spirituality, as Demi said the other day, it's like an umbrella, right? And then all these different practices,
Absolutely,
kind of focused on each nation's or people's culture.
Absolutely.
So when you say African spirituality, I'm guessing people understand that it's wherever
you are, wherever
you
please.
are,
I'm not about.
yeah.
I'm never going to research what Sierra Leone's one look like and what Gambia's one. I promise, I'm never going to do that. I don't open myself up to things like that. I just don't care. So whenever I say African spirituality, I'm definitely doing an umbrella term, and each African nation can then pick their spirituality from what I'm saying.
And I definitely know that. Obviously, when people hear us saying you don't practice what you preach, you're probably saying y'all don't either.
And that's okay. And that's okay. And that's absolutely okay. That is fine. But in terms of when it comes to Christianity, I am definitely practicing Christianity for 100%.
As opposed to the pick and mix.
I just think that's such a confusing way to live.
Combination.
And that's why for me, you can't have the truth then. Because what do you stand by? Because the way I see that is that it's like, it's fleeting. What you believe in today would depends on, there's so many variables that determines what you believe in today. And I think that's a scary way to live.
What is the penultimate priority? Having a faith, right, that you believe is the truth, in relation to your human experience. Like, why do you do it? What's the end goal with relation to how it is that you chill with other human beings? Is it to be kind to others?
So why do I practice Christianity, basically?
What do you get out of it? What is supposed to be the biggest thing you get out of it that helps others?
I think the biggest thing that I get out of Christianity is peace. is like peace and joy.
And if Emmanuel gets peace and joy,
He doesn't.
out of, how do you know?
He doesn't.
Is it because he looks restless?
Not even that, but I think I've met atheists who don't believe in God, don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, personally, I don't believe that you can ever have true peace if you don't believe in the Almighty God anyway. I just don't believe that. I don't believe you can. Because in each human being, I believe that God created us with, we all have in us a spirit that wants to serve God. However, over time, sin and whatever else, we get distracted with people serve other things. That's why idolatry is the way it is. Like, people find different things to serve. However, though, I've met atheists that are very confident in in the atheism of like, I don't believe this, I don't believe blah, blah, blah. And they don't, like, they've moved, whatever reason why they don't believe it, like, they are at peace in the way that they express what their belief or their lack of belief. Do you get what I mean? But it's like, there's other people where it's like you telling me, you're not just telling me this is what you believe or what you don't believe. It almost feels as if you're also wrestling within yourself to convince yourself that you also, this is why I don't believe it. So you're just headstrong about it. So it doesn't give peace to me. It doesn't give peace to me, because there's people where like they will tell you I'm an atheist, I don't believe in God, or I'm this religion and whatever it is, and they could care less whether you think whether you agree with it or not. Like, it's cool if you don't.
So I think I have met enough Muslims who I believe they're at peace.
Yeah, same.
With
their beliefs. Absolutely.
So I don't think that they need to follow the God of the Bible.
Yeah.
In order to find that particular peace.
Yeah.
Right? I believe that peace looks different to different people.
Absolutely.
And it feels different to different people.
Yeah.
And I believe I've experienced a level of peace, and I thought it was everything. And it wasn't until I felt the next level up.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, the next level up.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I do find it interesting. If an atheist or somebody like Emmanuel who believes in quite a few different things, if he can ever claim to find peace. I think it's possible that one can say it.
Do you know what I think?
Because of what they feel until they feel something else and they're like, oh, this is better. Well, this is this. Just like how I can say I've been in love and it has felt differently each time. I have met a new friend and gained a level of intimacy I've never experienced before, and that's a deeper love that I've ever experienced. But each time I would still say, I love this person. Yeah, you know.
I do.
I think peace has a. I think so.
I mean, I still definitely believe that ultimately you can't have peace in your soul unless you have peace with God. And when I say God, I'm always talking about the Christian God. That's the only God I know, the Almighty God. So I will always believe that, but I do think that people can feel at peace in different ways. Yeah, I mean, the people that have converted from Islam to Christianity, and they're like, I thought I had peace until this is the real. This is to me the real deal.
I've seen the inverse to that too.
Absolutely, but then the Bible tells you about those people.
We're always going to have our confirmation bias.
We're
going to frame anything with whatever lens.
Not even that.
Whatever lens that we have.
Because you know what? I think the way like my faith has grown and stuff, I can't imagine a world where I don't believe in God. I can't imagine a world where I simply don't believe in God. Like,
that's how
there's
it's
nothing else. Yeah, so that's why I said the Bible tells us about people that also allegedly convert from Christianity to another religion, because I don't know how you can truly know the true God.
Oh, okay.
How you can truly know the grace of God, the love of God, like how you can just know like the care of God, what it is to know that God truly, genuinely loves you that deep. But then you go and search for something elsewhere. Personally, and I'm speaking based on myself, I can't imagine that ever. I can't imagine myself never believing in God. And may the grace of God, I will never, ever, ever experience that. I can't fathom it. Do you get what I mean?
Are you saying or suggesting
Yeah.
that those people who converted or reverted never truly knew
I believe
and
that.
experienced?
I believe that.
Okay.
And the Bible says that as well.
Okay.
He said, what was it? I think Paul said it, that they are no longer among us because they were never with us, or something like that. Basically, I just don't see how. I just can't even think about that. But each to everyone's own, obviously. I mean,
All right.
Lord save us all.
Next one.
Let's see. Says, I don't know if it's ignorance or something else, but doesn't Iman understand or acknowledge the sheer irony of othering himself when it comes to tribe? I'm not Nigerian, I'm Yoruba, but talks about wanting to unite black people. Both things cannot exist, so don't lie to yourself. I also think it's weird when he does that sometimes. I'm a Yoruba woman. I'm happily and proudly Yoruba, but I think that, and this,
I think it's when he does it, the times in which he does it.
yeah, it sounds, yeah. I think but the reality is that everybody will come together. Okay, I think the reason why I don't like it is because of the tribalism and the reality of what tribalism looks like back home. And I think that people who don't live back home every single day or don't go back enough or whatever the case is.
Saying he's cosplaying.
Excuse me, let me finish. Hey, buddy, curator, don't curate now.
Okay.
You created enough. But I think that people who don't live back home and are not in touch with what the reality of being back home is like. I'm gonna say the reality, not just what's happening, but what that atmosphere is like for the people who are living in that. I think that from a privileged place, they can say things that actually, if you were back home, people would consider harmful. So I don't, so like I get the times when he says, you know, I'm Yoruba first before I'm Nigerian, and that's absolutely fair enough. An Igbo person can also say that, and Hausa person can say that, an Edo person can say, absolutely, that's fine. But I think that I get what this person's also saying, where it's like, we can't talk about uniting black people, which is why I also find it weird when people then other mixed race people, because the reality is that they are black. They're like, they are black and they are white. They happen to belong to two communities, but you cannot be talking about the togetherness of black people and then other these people that are part of you. Like, it doesn't. How are we ever going to get peace with that? So I think, it just doesn't. I get what the person's saying and relating it to like even the conversations about someone being black and someone being mixed race. For me, I see it the same way. But I do believe that. I don't think it necessarily means that like in a spiteful place. I just think that people that don't live back home or they're not, again, very in touch with the realities of what's going on back home have a sense of pride of who they are being away from that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes in that sense of pride, what they're then doing is that they're actually contributing to the issues that we're still fighting back home. So there's nothing wrong with Emmanuel saying I'm Yoruba before I'm Nigerian, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. However, though, part of the political issues that's going on back home is because when an Igbo person is president, Igbo people feel like, okay, you're going to just be there and do great things for Igbo people. When a Yoruba person's in there, like, okay, you're just going to do great things for a Yoruba person. But the reality is that in the country, it's not just one tribe that lives there. And it's actually a very ignorant way to live, because then people end up voting not for who's the best candidate, which is why we have Tinubu in there as well, because Peter Obi should have won. And Peter Obi is Igbo. But people do not understand that, like, it's so much tribalism that it ends up in a thing where I'm going to vote for the person that is from my tribe, that looks like me, blah, blah. And then we end up nowhere. Then 4 years goes by, then we have the election. So we continue to repeat the same mistakes. So there's nothing wrong with being proud of where you're from, but sometimes we can be a bit tone deaf being outside of the country.
All right then.
Okay, hopefully this is the last speech I gotta do this in the intro, child. Next person says, Esther's back, I could cry. Hey girl. Next person says, thank the Lord she's back. You say thank the Lord. I know some people are thanking the Lord this morning. Thank the Lord she's back. Welcome back, Esther. Thank you very much. Very happy to be back. However, that I keep telling you, if I keep talking about these trigger warning topics, I'm F off again. I am tired. Yesterday I was reading stuff and I was just like, because today the whole word on road is trigger warning. It's at this point it's the big three. It's Megan Thee Stallion, it's Halle Bailey, and it's Cassie. And I was just like, I'm tired.
3 beautiful women.
I'm mentally tired. Like, I'm mentally tired. And I think because I went on a whole rant yesterday, right? And I was just like, as a woman especially, like, it's draining in a way that I can't explain. Like, I don't think I can actually put into words exactly how draining it is. Because I think when people read some stuff, I think there's people that just read them like, oh, this is what's happening in their lives. But then as a woman who's been through things that I've personally been through, and I continue to see what women around me go through and just how society acts around these things anyway, it's not far removed. So like Cassie doesn't seem like something that's so outlandish to me. Halle Bailey doesn't feel so far removed from me. Megan Thee Stallion. Do you know what I mean? Like, these things are not as far removed as when we talk about other things that happen in celebrities' lives. And that's what makes it draining.
Question. So I hear that point.
Yeah.
I think I hear it even more so because I had a conversation about this same thing a few days ago.
Yeah.
Right? How does it change?
Yeah.
How do women stop encountering these shared experiences? Like, how does it change?
I don't think it does. Because it's been here since the beginning of time. The reality is that it doesn't. This is how I've now processed it. So the way I see it is that I don't think it will ever stop. Just because as society we're not moving forward with it.
Is this even in Christendom?
Absolutely.
As you say, true Christendom, though.
No, but
if you are seeking,
but true Christianity doesn't look to oppress women.
This is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but the popular Christianity does.
This is what I'm saying. So there is primary school, then there's secondary school, then there is college, university, then there's the workplace, then there's family life. Sometimes family life starts in secondary school, right?
It starts in nursery.
Right.
Okay.
But the dating habits,
Yeah.
right? How does that change? Because that's your first introduction to this type of, well, not 100%, you wheel it back. You can be exposed to this as a daughter.
Absolutely.
And this, that, and next.
Yeah.
Your brother's this, that, and next. Your father's this, that, and next. Your friends this, that, right? Cool.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing to start a change? If you're saying it's not going to change, what do you think? What have you identified?
Okay, so that's where I was going with my conversation, right?
Sorry.
In that, no, that's okay. In that, I don't think it's going to change with society at large. But what I've made peace with is that around me, I can curate my own peace.
Teach one, teach one.
Do you know what I mean? I can curate my own peace. So that means the type of men, as in friends, colleagues that I will talk and I will be people that will be around have to not be people that remind me of the oppression that's in wider society. Because that's like basically being friends with racists. Makes no damn sense to me. You wouldn't be.
Okay.
So why would I then be friends with people that are misogynistic, that are sexist, that are colorist? Like, so that's my peace with it now.
Okay.
And that's what makes it better. That's why so for me, for example, when I have to deal with, when I have conversations on here, when I have comments from on here, when I'm seeing tweets and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately, a lot of these things I can't help.
Okay.
But what I can help is who I'm going home to.
Yeah.
And what that person, the kind of mindset that person has. No word.
Come on.
You got to pick your partner smartly. And I'm sorry, if you got this is the time to know where your man stands. Have these conversations with him about these women's issues. My worst fear in life is being out in society, in the wider world, whether it's at work, an event, wherever the case might be, and it's being assaulted in some way or it's being disrespected because I'm a woman, whatever the case is, and then I come home to where should be my safe space. And I just want to tell my partner about these horrible things that have happened to me. And my partner says, yeah, but why were you wearing that though? Yeah, but what did you say for them to think that they could have access to? Like, I couldn't imagine anything worse. That is my hell. That is my hell. That is literally my hell. So that's the piece I've made with it. Is that I can't control society being misogynistic because I don't think it's gonna get better. I actually believe that the gender, like this odds of men not being able to understand women and women not being able to understand men, I actually believe it stems back to the curse of Adam and Eve. I genuinely believe that. 'Cause I think the Bible, God says to Eve, like, you always want his approval, you will never get it, something like that. But I actually believe it stems back then. So I don't think we're ever going to get to a place, because it's interesting because we keep saying, oh, like, it's 2025 and we're progressing with this and with this and with this. But yet when a woman comes out, she's still not believed. And people ask for proof. And then when she gives proof, they're like, yeah, but. So I don't think we're ever going to get to that point. So you have to then basically create your own peace and create your own circle, men and women, because they're women, unfortunately, that is done a number on. People think, colonization done a number on Christians. Yeah. Patriarchy done a number on some women, and it's just beyond repair.
And that includes women being attracted to putting a finger in a live socket. Putting a hand on fire.
I think I know where you're going with this. Do you know what's so interesting? I'm actually, I think I know where you're going from.
Choosing the strongest and the most, wavy, because the danger's there. I need to feel something.
It's all of it, because I can't, this is why I said what I said about Megan Good that time, and people thought that I was contradicting myself, but that's never meant anything to me, so that's great. I can't know as much as I know about how society is shaped the way women think and the way women see themselves. Like, women see themselves, not all women, so please calm down.
Yes.
But the sum is implied in everything I say.
Yeah.
All right?
Just
want to make that. I just want to make that note. You know what I mean? But I can't know how it is that society has made women see themselves as essentially only being good for objects and being a great lease, a great uterus lease or womb lease, right? I can't know that and then like judge certain women so harshly. I can't know that. Which actually is interesting. I'm gonna put a TikTok video on that today. Actually, I'm very consistent this week. I'm so
Come on.
It's my 4th video this week.
Come on.
Working hard.
Consistency.
Working hard, okay?
Right,
but I'm actually gonna do a video about that, because I think there needs to be, like, I give women grace for that. I give women grace until your mindset and your beliefs is now a danger to me. Do you know what I mean? I have no issues having conversations with you. I have no issues trying to help you see the light, because I think that is the light. I'm not anti-men. I'm not like men must die. I'm very blessed, because not every woman is, but I'm very blessed to have men in my life that are very sensible, very intelligent, emotionally intelligent men.
Because you've chosen that, no? You curated that.
Yes, I have curated that. Yeah. But then also, though, it's personal work that they've done. And so I've met someone, like, I'm not going to say I curated your mindset. I didn't. But then I chose to keep you in my life.
Sensational.
That was a compliment and a backhand, to be honest.
Why?
Because you said I got there.
You got there.
You said I got there.
No, but but everyone has to get there. I haven't always thought like this.
You've known me, I've gotten there.
Oh, you're still going. You still got some areas.
And to be honest, I haven't reached yet, you know.
You're not in your final form. You ain't reached your final form yet. Rooting for you.
All right, back in.
But yeah, so I've chosen to keep those men in my life, and as men I've said, like, you can never be here. And the same way I've done that with women as well. So people grow. Even the way I think today, I've known that since I was a kid. I've always questioned why, as a child, like the skills I had to learn and the hobbies I had to have always revolved around the fact that one day I'm going to be a mother and one day I'm going to be a wife. I never understood that. Like, I just didn't understand why I couldn't just go out and play. Like, I didn't understand that. So I questioned it, and the older, and I've unfortunately I've been with abusive men, unfortunately. I've experienced some very stupid things I wish I didn't. I have stayed with abusive men, but I have grown to get to the point that I'm at. And I think the issue sometimes is people not giving people that same grace to grow and get to that point that you are now at. I didn't get here in one day. So it would be unfair for me to look at another woman and judge her so harshly for not being where I am.
Okay,
and
so it's
people,
because you used to be there, it's easier for you to basically have patience with them. Yeah. Okay, because people have patience with you.
And I think I think people should. I'll be honest. I I think a lot of my thing was self-work. I wouldn't say that it's people necessarily having patience with me, because I think that people that I might have been around also had the same mindset that I had. So like, how are you going to be able to teach me better?
Yeah.
But that's why I also believe that God created me with the heart that he did. And I don't see my being a feminist as a rebellion against God or my faith. Do you get what I mean? But yeah, I think it's very important to have patience and grace for women. So that's why I give the example of Megan Good. If she does come out tomorrow and says that this was what's happened, blah blah, I'm not going to spend time stating, because the reality is that yes, she saw what happened with Grace Jabari. Yes, she saw who this person is, but for me, my focus will always be about the person she was dealing with. And abusers are very manipulative. That until you come out of it, and it's not just even when you just come out of it, it's time after you come out of it. For years after you come out of it, you're realizing the different ways you're manipulating. You never even realized that. Do you get me? You never saw that. I just don't think it's fair. I think there's situations where you can be harsh with somebody, but I just think sometimes we need to be patient with people.
All right,
and let them get there.
I hate what you're saying about Megan Good. Suppose Megan Good leaves
JM, Jonathan Majors.
JM, and then it goes to Brother Love.
Yeah.
Would you then keep saying, I will have patience with her?
So that's another thing though, because also I don't know Megan Good's life. People that come from abusive homes or like homes with different trauma and stuff like that, their brain develops, I think scientists or psychologists have said this, their brain develops differently. Like when a child experiences abuse and whatever, the way their brain is then developed moving on from that is very different, right? So I don't know what kind of life background she has. I get to sit in my privilege and say, oh my gosh, you're being dumb, you're being stupid, can't you see? But people can't see.
Yeah.
The reality is that they can't see it.
Yeah.
They can't see it. Yes, they hear that this person's this. But my thing is though, again, it goes back to the abusers. They're very manipulative. Abusers don't, obviously I'm sure that there are some that do, but they tend to know it. They're very strategic in the way they get you. They're very strategic in the way they love you. They're very strategic in the people that they pick to be their victims. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if it is a thing, I would honestly be like, well, I wonder what he told her to make her believe that he's a changed man. Because that's what the reality is going to be like. That's what the reality is going to be like. The women who date guys who are absolutely crap, and then you go and tell the next girl like, oh, he treated me like this, that, and that. But if the person that I'm getting today is completely different to what you've said, I can see why a woman would go for that guy. Because he's completely different to what you're telling me. You can tell me and be like, be aware, and this is the kind of women that I like, where they say he might be a changed man. I don't know what work he's done on himself or whatever, he might be a changed man, but just be aware of the signs. Don't get so caught up where you forget what he had to heal from. So if you see this sign where he starts to control you, starts to do this, starts to do that, just know that this is how it started for me, and then it escalated because I didn't think it was that deep. I think that's more productive advice than thinking that because someone's been abusive before, because someone's done something heinous before, that means that they're never going to, like, no woman is ever going to believe that they might be changed. People are very, very manipulative in the way they present themselves. And if you're someone like me as well, who's a Christian, God has forgiven me. There's character traits I had that I'm no longer that. So someone who experienced me back then would be like, oh, that girl, she's got anger problems, she's got this, she's got that, she's got whatever else they want to state. But the reality is I'm not like that today. So then should my man be like, yep, I've heard this how you are? No. But then he's never experienced that side of me though. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I think it's tricky. I think we need to give people I think that's how true support is. Because like I have friends unfortunately who have been in situations with men that they shouldn't be in and blah blah blah. And I think I can't be so harsh. Like I know that they're in situations they shouldn't be in. I know that they can't see it, and I know, for lack of a better word, I know they're being foolish. But I can't. I will be here. Like I will keep telling you. I don't mind to keep giving the same advice 50 times. I don't mind. I personally don't mind, because I will just keep praying and hoping that one day you will see the light. And when you do see the light, you're going to need somebody that will affirm who you are, so you never find yourself in that position again.
I was just about to ask a stupid question,
Go on.
and it's a false equivalency. I was going to say, do you see or apply the same type of grace to a friend if in their rearing, they're being conditioned to react and be rude
Yeah.
and disrespectful, right? And in the same manner, that's how I was processing this. Because they've been conditioned, they've been in an environment where this is all they know. It's hard for them to basically take themselves out of this and relearn things, right? And then I realized, but the difference between both those examples is that one is done to you, right? And you shouldn't look to entertain, be a host, right? To things that are affecting you and hurting you in a particular manner. So forget that question.
I don't think it's even a forced equivalency though, because that's still part of, because grace is not just for abuse victims. Like you can give grace to anybody. You can give grace to somebody in traffic that cuts you off. You can constantly give grace, but it goes back to what I say, where I am willing to give people grace until it is now harmful to me.
Yeah. You did.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
Because, and I think also as well, it's always about the person though. Because someone in an abusive relationship doesn't know they're in an abusive relationship, right? But someone who has a bad attitude, you can say to them, you know what, you got a really bad attitude. And they can say, oh, this is where it comes from. Or it's normalized in my family. I think we talked about it before, where certain things that happens in your household, it doesn't happen in anyone else's household. But then that's where self-work comes into it though. Because if you don't care enough to want to change when you're being told that you are hurting me in the way that you speak to me, there's only so much I can do then. Yeah. But if I know that you're working towards it, blah, blah, I can give you more grace. And if at a point I feel like you're working towards it, I'm like, you're working towards it, but child, this is too hard on me. There's nothing wrong with walking away from that. And then, same with abuse. If your friend is in an abusive relationship and you find it is mentally draining, or it might be triggering for you, whatever the case is, it's okay to walk away from things that you don't have the capacity to deal with. It's okay. People might look at it as like, oh, you're mean, you're wrong, whatever the case is, but it's okay if you cannot deal with that. If you can't deal with that and it's harmful to yourself, to who you are, and it's affecting you, then that's okay. I've walked away from friendships that have been very, very negative. Like every time we talk, you're always complaining about something. And the kind of person I am, I take on people's burdens and like unintentionally. I care that you're hurt. Like your hurts will affect me for the day. And so it got to a place where it was making me miserable. Like things were great in my life, but here I am just constantly miserable. And it's like, you're not even trying to help yourself. And I've had to walk away from friendships like that. And that's okay. I don't feel no regret about walking away from stuff like that. And I just wish you the best and I pray for you.
All right, this is wonderful. Headlines.
Please.
This guy said he would be here half past.
All right. Sorry, y'all. It's hard for me to read comments when it's just me and Brent in the room. So I'm just one, I mean, just in case. If it's important, hopefully Brent will put it on the screen. But if it's just you disagreeing with what I said, then glad I can't see that. All right, first headline. The UK government has hit back at suggestions the tariff agreement it reached with the US last week could be damaging to China. The UK-US agreement rode back on big hikes in tariffs on metals and cars imposed by President Donald Trump, but it also included conditions requiring the UK to promptly meet US demands on the security of the supply chains of steel and aluminium products exported to America. Beijing fears this could see it being excluded from supplying US-bound goods to the UK, telling the Financial Times. External, it was a basic principle, that bilateral trade deals should not target other countries. At a regular press conference on Tuesday, China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said, as for the trade agreement between the UK and relevant countries, I would like to point out that cooperation between countries should not target or harm the interests of third parties. In response to the latest comments from China, the UK government said the agreement with the US was in the national interest to secure thousands of jobs across key sectors, protect British businesses, and lay the groundwork for greater trade in the future. Any external provisions in the agreement were not designed to undermine mutually beneficial economic relations with any third country, it said. As the Chief Secretary to the Treasury clearly stated, there is no such thing as a veto on Chinese investments in this trade deal. Second headline. Prisoners will be able to earn their freedom after serving a third of their sentences on the new minimum and maximum sentence plans released by the government to tackle the overcrowding in jails. Offenders in England and Wales will be able to earn early release if they complete work, training, or education assignments and demonstrate good behaviour. If prisoners fail to behave or to adhere to assignments, they will face having to spend longer in jail on the changes that will scrap the current automatic early release of offenders 40% of their way through their sentences. Government sources have confirmed that the changes, first disclosed by The Telegraph, are part of a package of measures to combat prison overcrowding and will be recommended next week by an independent sentencing review led by the former Tory Justice Secretary David Gauck. The review was commissioned by the Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood last year after an overcrowding crisis that led to thousands of prisoners being released early. Should I do all the headlines or am I doing this?
Yes, please.
Okay. Next headline. Pakistan. Sorry, I'm thirsty. I heard all the headlines for damn. Sorry, y'all. All right, Pakistan. Pakistan claimed to have shot down several Indian Air Force fighter jets with Chinese-made missiles fired from Chinese-made J-10C jets. The Pakistani Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar told Parliament the Pakistani-flown fighters had taken down India's French-made Rafales, right? Is it Rafales? Rafales. Doesn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's go with that. Dar said he had informed the Chinese and they were pleased. China's social media celebrated. The use of J-10Cs by Pakistan would mark the first time the Chinese planes and the PL-15 missiles they were carrying have been used in combat anywhere in the world, giving military analysts a rare glimpse of their capabilities and China's military, the PLA, a crucial test case. It's not just Western arms that China's planes are being tested against. India has the support of both China's biggest rival, the US, and its closest ally, Russia, which supplies 36% of India's arms imports. But analysts says it has provided a wake-up call about China's military capabilities as it threatens to annex Taiwan. Under the rule of Xi Jinping, China's military has been modernizing and expanding with a goal to be capable of an air and land invasion of Taiwan by 2027. Part of China's contingency planning is an expectation that the US military and potentially others would be involved defending Taiwan. Next headline. President Cyril Ramaphosa has called a group of 59 white South Africans who have moved to the US to resettle cowards. President Cyril Ramaphosa has called a group of 59 white South Africans who have moved to the US to resettle cowards, saying they'll be back soon. The group of Afrikaners arrived in the US on Monday after President Donald Trump granted them refugee status, saying they faced racial discrimination. But Ramaphosa said those who wanted to leave were not happy with efforts to address the inequities of their apartheid past, terming their relocation a sad moment for them. As South Africans, we are resilient. We don't run away from our problems. We must stay here and solve our problems. When you run away, you are a coward, and that's a real cowardly act, he added. Trump and his close ally, South Africa-born Elon Musk, have said there was a genocide of white farmers in South Africa, a claim that has been widely discredited. The US has also accused the South African government of seizing land from white farmers without paying compensation. More than 30 years after the end of decades of rule by South Africa's white minority, black farmers own only a small fraction of the country's best farmland, with the majority still in white hands, leading to anger over the slow pace of change. Next headline. A taxi driver has been charged by French police with stealing luggage and cash from the UK's Foreign Secretary David Lammy and his wife Nicola Green. Prosecutors opened an investigation into a commercial dispute in Bonneville after the driver filed a complaint. The Bonneville prosecutor, Boris Dufau, told the BBC after an investigation by French police, the Bonneville prosecutor's office has decided to prosecute the taxi driver. He has been charged with theft of luggage and cash to the detriment of Nicola Green and David Lyndon Lammy. His parents were so creative. The driver had told French media that Lammy became aggressive when asked to pay €700, which is £590, of the 1,550 bill, the remainder of which was to be paid by the booking service. The fee was paid upfront to the transfer service, but the driver insisted he was owed money on arrival and that he needed to be paid in cash, a source said. Green, who was speaking to the taxi driver while her husband went into the house, told police in a statement that she felt threatened and that the driver showed her a knife in his glove box, according to the PA news agency. It is understood that after he left with their luggage, a member of the Foreign Secretary's office contacted the driver to get it back, and it was deposited at a police station with a considerable sum of money missing from Green's bag. A Foreign Office spokesperson said, "We totally refute these allegations. The fare was paid in full." Next one, about Gary Lineker. Okay, save that one for topic of the day, Emmanuel said. The last ones, though, the assisted dying bill. My church has been praying hard for this, and they've been working hard and writing to MPs and all sorts about this. It's been serious. This is about the next bill I'm about to talk about. So the assisted dying bill is at risk of failing. I know my church is celebrating. It's about to be lit on Sunday. The assisted dying bill is at risk of failing because MPs are considering pulling their support, the Telegraph can disclose. MPs voted 330 to 275. MPs voted 330 to 275 to legalise assisted dying last year in a historic vote. However, just 28 need to switch sides for the bill to fail when it returns to the House of Commons. The Telegraph understands that at least 15 MPs from Labour, the Conservatives and Liberal Democrats who either abstained or supported the bill previously are now considering voting against it. The shift has emerged as a terminally 3 adults, I think, end-of-life bill is due to return to the Commons on Friday when MPs will debate and vote on amendments. While a final vote is possible, MPs have put forward so many amendments to discuss that they are unlikely to get through them and progress to the next stage. Kim Leadbeater, the sponsor of the bill, who has been fighting a mounting backlash over the policy, has tabled 44 amendments in an attempt to keep backers on side. Next headline. The Duke of Sussex's popularity in the UK has plunged after a BBC interview in which he claimed the King refused to speak to him. It's ironic, isn't it? A new YouGov poll revealed Prince Harry's favourability rating has dropped to 27%, its lowest for more than 2 years. The Duchess of Sussex has also seen her popularity drop to 20%, its lowest since YouGov began tracking it in 2017, the year before she married into the royal family. The Prince and Princess of Wales remain the UK's favourite royals, with 75% of the 2,222 adults surveyed reporting a positive opinion on Prince William and 72% of his wife. The latest survey was undertaken from 6th to 7th of May, days after the Duke gave a lengthy interview to the BBC following defeat in his legal battle with the government over his security arrangements. Now, last headline for today. The Democratic Republic of Congo said it may impose strict curbs on cobalt, exports when its existing 4-month ban ends. The country accounts for nearly 3/4 of global... am I saying that right? How do you say that mineral?
Cobalt?
Cobalt. Okay, I was right. So the country accounts for nearly 3/4 of global cobalt mine production, but since February, it has enacted a 4-month export suspension of the metal. Kinshasa said this was to address a global oversupply, which has caused a significant drop in prices. The metal is used to make lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles and smartphones. Kinshasa had hoped its export ban would stabilize the market and protect the interests of Congolese producers and investors. But on Wednesday, the president of the government agency regulating strategic minerals said that while the stockpiles that had depressed prices had been significantly reduced, they were not yet exhausted. Patrick Luabeya said that the agency's next decision will inevitably imply a strict limitation of exports in whole or in part until market balance is reached with regard to the supply and demand of cobalt. He added that the Authority for the Regulation and Control of Strategic Mineral Substances markets would consult industry players in June regarding the ban. Go on, I can come out for air. I ain't repeating that. Oh, okay. I thought the camera went off or something. Well. Is the camera off? Is it anti-Christians?
Hold up.
Not y'all working hard. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, what a day. Can you believe that? I've been yapping all morning. My camera's off.
What? Not the whole time.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think so. Was it for the headlines?
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, we're back.
Wait a minute.
No?
Let's see.
Mm-mm-mm.
All right. Go.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you. I want to play something,
Yes.
and I want to put a link in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
and I want as many people as possible to sign up.
Oh, nice.
If
What is it?
your spirit leads you to. So, this is our friend of the show, Nabil Al-Kanani,
Pick up the bill.
each and every time.
I promise I'll try to keep it short. There's a building in northwest London called the Bridge Park Community Complex. It was built in the 80s by a group of young Caribbean and African migrants by the name of Leonard Johnson, Lawrence Farron, and a whole list of contributors. The intention of this building was to ensure that communities of northwest London, the diaspora, have a place where they can house entrepreneurial ideas, building towards economic self-sufficiency. 40 years later, it's being slated for demolition, but it is an important building. It's a building that houses so much culture and history, and we're fighting back. We're trying to preserve it and to allow it to continue to do the important work that it does. Now, we can stop this demolition if you sign this petition in the link here. This provides a letter of support for an application we've put forward to an entity called Historic England, which we hope will list the building, providing it with legislative protection that makes it impossible for them to demolish. We need your signatures. We are handing in the letter of support tomorrow at 3 p.m. I need you to sign this link. Send it to anyone and everyone you know and get them to sign. It's free. It won't cost you nothing, and it provides us with longevity and keeps the vision alive. And you know what it is? You might not care, you might be unaffected, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is a personal ask. This building is so important to my neighbours, to my community, to northwest London, and carries so much significance. I'm asking you, even if you don't care, take a minute out of your evening and sign it. Do me a favour. I will be grateful, please.
Right then. So thank you for your patience. I will place the link as a pinned tweet. What am I saying tweet? Pinned message. Oh crap, I can't. So minus 51 characters over.
Damn.
Ed, can you share it? Oh, why am I saying Ed? Can you share it? I can share it in the Discord.
Eric.
God damn
Ed.
it. Thank you. Anyway,
Very helpful in that way.
let's continue. What the hell?
What the hell?
Can't read this into this new bloody system, man. username and passwords archaic bloody infrastructure. I'm already in tomorrow. God
No,
damn
you're
it.
acting brand new already. Damn.
God damn it.
You acting brand new.
I can't even wait.
Clearly. How disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
This fine establishment.
I'm wondering what I'm gonna be taking with me. I've decided yesterday, like one
have
thing
you?
I'm definitely gonna take. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. Anyway, let's get into the topic of the day.
Let's do it. Good morning, people. Good
I was
morning,
about to ask a
people.
very cheeky question. It's even that one.
That's not making the cut.
All right, people.
One
All
bid.
right. Can you imagine? Oh, the sound's gone.
They said I've talked enough today.
Do you want people to join the Discord on this one?
It would be good.
All right, then.
good.
Give
What are
me
we
a
talking
second.
about, Lauren? I'm scared. What are we talking about?
Second.
About Gary Lineker.
Give me a second, people.
How do you do?
1 second, people.
Is it trigger warning? I think it's so weird.
We're back.
I think it's so weird. Like, hate to bring him up, but I'm not gonna say who it was. Fanan, right? Isn't there talking about upset because for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. But he was like, oh, I remember, like, maybe I've missed the context. But he's like, oh, I remember men don't get abused. Why would you say that? And then someone said, oh, who said that? He said, oh, it's just a tongue-in-cheek comment. But why would that be the verse you go with? I do women's work. Do men's work.
Oh, what you think is at you?
I don't know. Because I'm just saying I don't know.
All right.
But it's just happened to be, do you get what I mean? But I also find it interesting because obviously with the things that I expressed, I was very clear to make it that this is how I live and how I operate. I don't mind giving people grace and stuff like that. I'm not preaching that this is how everybody should be. And I think that's always important to remember. I ain't saying you gotta give abuse victims grace. You do whatever your heart tells you to do, and you just go and have the day you deserve. So, anyway, Gary Lineker, what's he up to these days?
Well, he's apologized. Gary Lineker has
do
a
you do?
history. I'm about to tell you, but he has a history
I don't
of.
think I'm thinking of the right person.
Oh, Gary, let me show you.
What's Gary
I'll
Lineker
take a
look
picture.
like, please?
I like him, man.
I think I'm thinking of Louis Theroux. I definitely was thinking. So that's not Louis.
Nah. This is the great Gary Lineker.
I'm really like Barbara from Abbott Elementary. I don't know white people.
He's before your time though. Anyway, he used to be a footballer.
But I've heard his name so many times.
Yeah, we don't watch Match of the Day. You know what I mean?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
It's gone again, Brent. Damn it.
Yeah,
It's
man.
gone again.
I'm not going to talk
Sorry,
about it
people.
today.
But yes, basically, what I was trying to say is he has a history of, I guess, finding himself in certain situations, but not apologizing. You know what I'm saying? Because he feels like, no, what I said was right. I shouldn't have to apologize for this particular thing, innit?
Sorry.
What happened?
That's Louis Theroux.
Yeah, that's Louis.
So basically, the person I was thinking about was Gary Lineker.
The one you
So
lost?
I thought that was Louis.
Yeah.
But no, in my brain now that is, I don't know what this man looks like. I've never
You've never seen him?
never seen this man. Apologies, Gary. Well, yeah, sorry. So he stands on business.
Yeah, pretty much.
Never seen Louis Theroux before.
And you know this man, I watched him on the receipts. I think I just listened to it. He was on the
I'm
receipts.
laughing
Oh,
because
sick.
you placed Gary in the place of Louis, right?
Yeah.
But you'd never seen Louis before.
Yeah. So what was I doing?
I was thinking that Gary was Louis all his time.
The whole time, Gary is Gary.
Yeah, the Walker's crisp guy.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, but that was a long time. Do you remember the Walker's Chris advert?
No, I do remember, what's his name though?
Yeah.
With a bass voice. Lionel Richie.
Oh, what's the correlation?
I remember he was
No, he
on the
did an
crisp as
advert.
well. He did an ad.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
I don't think it was Walker's though.
It was.
Yeah.
Was it not? Yeah, I'm sure it was. What about Chris going to do? McCoy's? McCoy's is great though.
I'm trying to remember.
McCoy's is good. That's the real. That's a good crisp. But just randomly, what's it going to do? Hula hoops?
No, I'm trying to remember if it was.
I'm sure it was thingy.
Oh yeah, I could be wrong. This is years ago.
Let's Google, yeah. Brent's saying quick Google, like he's not the one with the device.
I'm looking to do this.
Sorry, I'm very distracting in conversations. Walker's advert. See? Walker's advert. Yeah, man.
Oh wow.
Crunchy series.
Oh right.
There he is. With a guy that looks like Louis Theroux. There he is. Somebody on the swings. I don't know. It's a white man. I don't know which one. But
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know which is such a interesting guy.
Jinnen just says, did Gary play at the same time as David Beckham? No, this was before, long before.
They can't be age mates.
Nah, long before.
Is David Beckham older than or younger than him?
Yeah, a lot younger.
I was about to say.
He's like a
'cause-
generation younger.
I was about to say, otherwise, David Beckham's skincare routine is chef's kiss. That's a beautiful white man, to be fair.
But yeah, like he's basically, yeah, been in certain situations.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not apologizing.
Fair.
I've not said anything wrong. What I'm saying doesn't represent the views of the BBC. This is just my personal belief
Oh,
and
okay,
stuff
yeah,
like
one of
that,
them
right?
people. Mm.
Okay.
I should be talking I was talking crazy this morning.
Still nothing?
Nah, nothing. Ooh, did we back? All right, people. Apologies. Yeah. Basically about Gary Lineker, right? He's been in certain situations, and he's pretty much said, "Listen, these are my views, etc., not the BBC's." And yeah, he's pretty much stood on business, not apologized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's faced backlash, but the BBC have somewhat appeared to support him, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, is the most paid BBC front-facing person.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. If not number one, he's top 3. But I guess some people might think this is probably the reason why they didn't want to renew his contract. So Match of the Day, he's no longer doing Match of the Day, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I guess from the next season or whatever. He's only going to appear for Match of the Day during particular tournaments, I believe. And I think that's even only up to 2026 or 2027, I believe. Anyway, I say all of that to say this, though. Along his journey of, being a somewhat political activist and whatnot, he posted, or reposted, I should say, some material from a pro-Palestine Insta account called Palestine Lobby. And he just thought, you know what, I'm just minding my business, but I'm posting this because I guess, and this is me thinking this now, he's looked at the video, thought, yep, this pretty much sums up Zionism, and I'm against Zionism. I'm against people going into Palestine, taking their land and abusing them and doing what they're doing, and have been doing for how long now, right? What he didn't recognize is that in the post, there's a little emoji of a rat, yeah? And obviously, he's posted it, and now they've called him anti-Semitic.
A rat.
Yes. Obviously, we don't know, innit? So I'm going to get into what he didn't know also.
Oh, so rat is like a symbol for something.
Exactly. So apparently it has a historic something.
In black people, it's just you're a snitch.
No, but this is more to do with anti-Semitism, I guess, isn't it?
Interesting.
Back in them days, isn't it? Like with the Germans and things like
Well,
that.
educate us.
So we gonna get into it, right? So, but essentially, what happened is,
So wait,
yes.
he was in the video. He was basically saying that he's pro-Palestine, basically.
No, he's not even in the video. He did a Kyrie Irving. He reposted somebody else.
Okay, so but that video that he reposted
Yeah.
is basically pro-Palestine.
Yes.
So was that anti-Semitic before the rat, or the rat made it anti-Semitic post?
The rat made it anti-Semitic.
Okay, fair, okay.
This is what I'm believing anyway.
All right, okay.
So this is still coming from my lens, right?
Fair, okay.
Because it's just a normal post, and people just basically were saying to him, and I'll quote it to you, but basically saying, yeah, he was sharing a pro-Palestine video featuring an anti-Semitic rat emoji.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So this particular, it's one of those things that we use in propaganda back in the day to
fair.
hurt the Jews and stuff like that, right?
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, but he don't know. Nobody knows. You know, sorry.
I guess people that are affected by that would know, but it's
Exactly.
not. That wasn't the point. I guess that wasn't the point of the post. But I guess whoever put it in there, they intentionally did that. Sometimes just create your own. Go on Canva. Create your own image. Create your own message.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also, to me, when I first saw the post, I didn't even see the rat. And I think that was what he was saying as well. Like, you don't pay attention.
Do you have this post by chance?
Yeah, Brent. I've emailed it to you. So basically,
With my glasses on, child.
I don't have the actual
can see a rat.
video, but I have the screenshot of basically what it is.
Glasses are dirty, boy.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it there on the
All
screen.
right, hold on. I definitely can't see him. That is like. All right, so
You see it?
of course you can flip and see Jerry in the corner.
No, but now you're looking for it though.
No, it's right there next to you. I can even see you without my glasses. You know I can't typically see without my glasses on. Yes. What do you think that was a hamster?
Yeah, but you're not thinking about that though,
That's a
man.
creature.
Yeah, but are you thinking?
I don't think you don't think the rat
That's
is
what I'm saying.
relevant.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But you damn for sure see the grey rat.
You can see something there. Okay, you can see the rat. But
course you can see the
you're
rat.
not thinking.
But I would never.
this
I
is
would have
linked
reposted
to
it not thinking that the rat was
Exactly.
part of the message.
Exactly.
So fair.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So again, he's got a history of not saying sorry. So in 2023, he compared the government's immigration policies to Nazi Germany. Everyone got onto him. He got a BBC
He
suspension.
did what?
He compared the government's immigration policy to how it was in Nazi Germany, right?
People just say things.
And he got suspended, BBC. There was a sports staff walkout in support of him. Because people say, no, you can't do this to Gary. We like Gary.
No, Gary.
You know what I'm saying? So people
But Gary's
came-
are typically lovely, though. To be fair,
so
you meet
people-
a white Gary, he's just a nice lad.
How many Garys do you know?
Not many. That's such a Nigerian thing to ask me. Not many, but the random guys, I'm like, it's lovely guy. I'm like, oh, what's your name? He's like, oh, Gary. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
of course you're
I
Gary.
like Gary's. Why not, man? And they called him Gao as well, innit?
I don't miss it.
And then what they called him Gao?
Gaz.
Is it Gaza? No, they called Gary. No. Man, let me relax.
I bet you, I don't understand British nicknames. They tend to be longer than the actual name. It's just silly. I feel like William is like a nickname for like Bill or something silly like that.
Yeah.
Very dramatic
Well,
behavior.
Bill is for William. No, but sure.
Tell me your name is William Fair. Tell me your name is Bill Ick. Come on. Anyway,
But yes.
so you apologize. No,
Yeah.
the stage walkout, people
Yeah.
walked out.
So that's just to let you know what it's
Like how
been like
the
for him,
impact.
like before.
okay, yeah.
So this one now,
Oof.
you know it's different. You come
The
in
mighty
against
have fallen.
it's a final boss. This one is, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So obviously he said in a statement on Wednesday, on Instagram, I reposted material which I've since learned contained offensive references. I very much regret these references. I would never knowingly share anything anti-Semitic. It goes against everything I believe in. The post was removed as soon as I became aware of this. Whilst I strongly believe in the importance of speaking out on humanitarian issues, including the tragedy unfolding in Gaza, I also know that how we do so matters. I take full
Absolutely.
responsibility for this mistake. That image does not reflect my views. It was an error on my part, for which I apologize unreservedly.
That's the kind of guy you give grace to. People don't want to give him grace.
Huh? They don't want to give him grace now. You know when
I don't know.
in certain situations,
that one I don't know.
in certain situations they won't give you. You know what I'm saying?
I think because like we said, yeah. Sometimes people just don't know things, and then when they know, how they react once you be made aware is really what matters. Obviously, it's not my offense, to issue forgiveness for and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I'll become forgiven.
Yeah, I think so. But again, like you said, innit, I guess it's down to them, innit?
So
But-
does it
but
does it
how
still
far-
work for BBC? Sorry,
Yeah.
it's been fired or something.
But that's what they want. That's what I'm going to get to. That's what they want. That's what I'm saying.
What were the other issues that? Okay, fair. The BBC has a second strike.
But the first strike wasn't against them.
Yeah, but it was like trigger though, Nazi Germany and stuff.
But I'm talking about the government. This is not about you. This is about the government.
Yeah, but you can't just be
behaving
using
like
as examples with nearly willy. Or nearly, what's the saying? Willy nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy. That's a nearly willy. Willy. Okay, never mind. Just forget it.
But yeah,
Okay.
but obviously this time now it's a bit different because you've got Jewish people who are part of the BBC who are now, you know what I'm saying? So
they're offended too.
Yeah, so people outside and inside of his working environment are like, yo, you need to do something about this guy. You know what I'm saying? So one Jewish member of staff who basically had a previous Telegraph article claimed anti-Semitism at the BBC is becoming normalized. So this is what this person said, right? They said it is quite simply disgusting that the BBC has not kicked Lineker out. His repeated offensiveness to Jewish people has clearly brought the BBC into disrepute.
Auntie, which repeated offence?
There you go.
Isn't this the first strike? Forget the other thing. Isn't this the first technical strike? Or has he done something else?
I thought it was the first one, innit? But I don't know, innit? I'm not.
Do you know what it is to say to someone's repeated actions?
Yeah. His repeated offensiveness to Jewish people has clearly brought the BBC into disrepute. The interpretation of Zionism he has shared is anti-Semitic, and the fact that the BBC thinks it's acceptable is deeply upsetting to its Jewish staff, myself included.
So then I don't think it's just a rat then.
Yeah. But
I think it's him being pro-Palestinian, pro-Palestine as well then.
Yeah.
I think so there's the other side of the Zionists, right? Because that always confuses me sometimes. So do Zionists see people that are pro-Palestine as anti-Semitic?
100%.
Okay, so this is
But they wouldn't say that though. This is what I would say. But they wouldn't say
I don't want your opinion, Emmanuel.
No, the reason why I'm saying that is because you remember they have an agenda, innit? They want something, innit? So anything that's against that agenda,
they'll say that's
exactly.
anti-Semitic.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it like that.
Okay, fair. What's the repeated offence? Because if he didn't know this, and clearly it's not common knowledge, because I would have just seen that, and just for they were talking about like Netanyahu was a snitch or something. Not that it's related to the significance that he has for them culturally. Yeah. But he apologized and he's admitted that, oh, my bad, and I took it down as soon as he did. He could have let the 24 hours of Instagram later expire. He didn't. He took it down. Exactly. As soon as he was made aware.
Yeah. Even one of his spokesmen came out, right, and they were speaking to Telegraph Sport, and they said, whilst viewing and reposting the video, Gary did not notice a rodent emoticon added by the author of the post. Then he went on to say, although if he had, he would not have made any connection. Exactly. The repost has been removed.
He would have posted. That would have got posted anyway.
Nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well then, Gary, maybe it's just time to hang it up, man. Sometimes you have to think of things that sometimes you have to see as like God's doing. Keep getting in trouble all the time. At some point you just stop. Fine.
But at least from his perspective, he's doing good. He's spreading awareness and saying, yo, what's going on over there? It's not right. If I, as one of the most prominent people in the UK, can't say something, who else does? Who else can? We're done.
What's the uncle's name? Black guy. The one that black girl was cussing over there. That was such an embarrassing situation. He's out of a job now. What's his name? Ian Wright. Ian Wright can.
What? Ian Wright would have been out of there. ASAP. ASAP. Gary is loved.
Listen. And that's why I'm like, yeah, but if he didn't know, then he didn't know, man. I don't know, man. But again, obviously, it is a bit somehow, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, we're not going to spend too long on this, but do you feel as though people care about intent?
People don't care, man.
Yeah. Do you feel like...
I think human beings are hypocrites, though. And I know some of you are excited I said that. I know I am too sometimes, shut up.
Everybody is.
Do you know what I mean? I just think... Because I think it's different because we've seen situations where people have said something that's like homophobic or racist or whatever, and they double down. They say, nope, I believe what I believe. Yeah. I'm not taking it back. But he was just trying to promote a good message, which is a good message, right? Yeah. And standing for people who are being slaughtered by the day.
Exactly.
Right? And so if he's saying, I didn't even know the history behind this rat thing. Yeah. Because I think people try to act like, oh, but you should have done your research, blah, blah. But realistically, how many things are we all researching every single day? Do you get what I mean? Like, how many things are we realistically researching and Googling and all that kind of stuff when it is that you want to make a repost? And it's social media, so it's just like, oh, I've seen this nice message, oh, I like that, post. And then sometimes you've even forgotten you posted it. So when someone, I can imagine when someone called him like, oh, he's thinking, what post? Yeah. Do you get what I mean? Exactly. I just don't think it should be that. Yeah. I just don't think the world should be the way it is right now. Just in terms of people not being able to learn and grow. Because how do we grow? If you're not from my community, how will you know the things that offends my community? Hopefully, you won't have to create the offense to then learn about what offends us. But even if you do, let's sit down with you and let's have a conversation then. And let me educate you and let you know why this is so offensive to us.
Yeah.
And then you move forward in life and you never do that again. And now you have to be mindful. But if people can't make mistakes and we can't allow them to grow from it, then what are we really doing?
But I guess, I mean, one thing this shows me, or reminds me, I should say, because I think we've seen this before. We've seen this happen to Corbyn, right? When apparently he wasn't dealing with the anti-Semitism that was in the Labour Party, right? Before you knew it, he was out of there, right? But
they took that man right out.
Gone, right? So I say all that just to say this: it's not necessarily a white or black thing with them. It's just if it's not a Jewish thing, if it's against what they perceive as Jewish freedoms and whatnot, that's it. It's not against black people. It's not against Asian people. It's against all people who spew any anti-Semitic rhetoric. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they will deal with you, I think, almost in the same way. Because listen to this. A spokesperson for the campaign against anti-Semitism, right, said Gary Lineker is playing the public for fools by pretending to be one, right? He claims to want to spread awareness about events in the Middle East, but also claims to be so ignorant as to be unaware of the dehumanizing connotations of a rat symbol. The BBC has turned a blind eye for too long. It is long past time for him to go, and he must go now. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, I think, to see if the BBC is going to kind of capitulate and whatnot, or if he's going to be able to see out his contract. I mean, like I said, I think he's going by the end of the season anyway. So yeah, which is later. What? It's done, isn't it, Brent? Later this month, right?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, so he's going to be out anyway. You know what I'm saying? So they probably can just postpone it. But yeah, they obviously want to make a point. You know what I'm saying? We saw what happened to certain people who said certain things. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this to the people and show how, I guess, in particular things, they stay on job, man. Doesn't matter who the I guess, the supposed enemy looks like or what they are, whatever. Say anything that they deem as something that could be against their agenda and their rights and their freedoms. Rightfully so, they come out and make sure the person is dealt with, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think Gary did anything malicious, personally.
It will be interesting to know what BBC does. I think it'll be interesting to see how they resolve it, especially him being such a beloved treasure.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, but just a quick one. This is just a reminder that I guess we all have to be careful of what we repost, you know, because
absolutely
the same thing happened with Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? I came to Kyrie's defense.
but that was different though.
Oh,
it wasn't like what he posted like just direct.
It was a link to it was an Amazon link, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I remember
about a particular documentary where black Hebrews were basically saying they are the true Hebrews, and this is the history of it. This is where we lost our identity and the biblical sources, whatever. You may not agree with the scholarship, but it was still him trying to show the world or show other black people, listen, our history goes beyond slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because that was wild, to be fair. But then I swear, wasn't there like a whole thing with what did he do? Is he a basketball player? Or?
Yeah.
Is it NFL then? Is that NBA? NBA. And I got it in right. And like the whole like they can't talk about political things. I don't know, man. I think Gary's one is different to me because that's an emoji. Like it's a symbol he doesn't understand. There's certain symbols like this is a swastika.
Yeah.
Like we all know what certain symbols stand for, right?
Yeah.
But I never would have ever guessed that stands for something else.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have even thought it. I wouldn't have thought it was relevant to the text. I just wouldn't have thought it was relevant to the text. Like I just would have thought it was there. So I think that's what I find so interesting about. That's why this is a bit different because it's like it could be a symbol and you wouldn't know.
So which one do you think is worse then?
I think Lineker's one is worse.
Okay, yeah.
It's absolutely worse. How on earth was he ever going to know that symbol stands for something?
Okay. So not worse in terms of he did a worse thing compared to
No.
Kyrie.
I don't think either of them. To be honest, I don't think Kyrie or Lineker. I don't think what they've done. I think people should be able to share what their personal opinions are, and whatever they can. Obviously, if it's directly offensive to people, then that's different. But the example was, I don't think what they did was exactly offensive. I can't remember exactly Kyrie's things. I might be wrong, but yeah. But I think with Lineker's, I don't think he was offensive in doing that because that's what everyone's doing at the moment. But I just think, wow, like how would he have ever, like, he would have never known. And I think that's why he should be forgiven and he should be allowed. But then them saying, someone who works there saying that this is repeated, lets me know or makes me question whether this is not his first offense then. So even if it is his, even though he didn't know what this means, maybe he's been going around spreading a certain type of rhetoric or a certain type of thing, and so that's been anti-Semitic. Because saying repeatedly, I'm hoping there's some kind of proof about that if that's meant to be true. Do you get what I mean? Like it's like if I, yeah. And so on that basis, then whether or not you need what the right stands for, you hold this view anyway that is harmful to people, then yeah, you gotta go. If that's the case, then yeah, Gary Lineker be gone. Like,
I mean, like with regards to the other thing, quickly, he said his comments in 2023, in which he said on social media that language used by the then conservative government is not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 30s, triggered the BBC suspension and a mass walkout of BBC sports staff in support of the presenter before new rules regarding social media use were published by the broadcaster. The reason why, again, I could be wrong here, but I think this all ties in with the whole anti-Semitism thing, is because people don't like anyone comparing what the Nazis did to anything, because they see it as, oh, this is lessening what they did. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. But as far as I'm aware, I don't think he's done anything directly against Jewish people or said anything to criticize Jewish people like that. Yeah. He's criticized the regime of Israel, you know what I'm saying, and what they're doing to Palestinians. So, but you know, they like to lump everything you've done into a bloody anti-Semitic accusation.
Ramsey, the Discord is open. Is he there?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Whenever Palestine is being talked about, Ramsey just, like, his spirit tells him.
I'm telling you.
Because I don't even think he was tuned into the show. I genuinely believe that his spirit just lets him know, whoop.
Yeah.
And it'll rise up. That's an activist. That's an actual activist.
Hey, people. Hey, Esther.
Hey, Eddie. How are you?
That's a good impression, Ramsey.
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Eddie. What's your thoughts on this, if you have any?
Yeah, I agree that he was just expressing his views on Palestine, just that the Zionists didn't like it.
Do you think he should be fired for it?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What's going on, people?
Hopefully he doesn't get fired, you know.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. He shouldn't.
Thanks, Eddie. Morning, Ramsey.
Pleasure.
You all right?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, man. I'm all right, man. I'm good, man.
We thank
Love
God.
that. What's up?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, in all honesty, I tuned in madly. But I did hear there was a bit of confusion. I feel like they've been after Gary for a long time.
Who's they?
A very, very long time. The Zionist agenda,
Okay.
the man them that own the media, all them, man. So whenever he stands up and he says, listen, I don't think kids should be dying in Palestine or anywhere else, and the agenda in Israel is wrong and the genocide is wrong, they say, no, it's anti-Semitic, it's anti-Semitic. And people can, in my opinion, saying that Palestine or what's happening in Palestine and the genocide, it being wrong, and being able to be critical of Israel, calling that anti-Semitic, to me, is anti-Semitic in itself. So whenever anyone criticizes Zionism, which is the belief or the idea that Jews have a right to live in Israel and have a right to stay in Palestine, that's basically Zionism. It's not a religion. It's just ideology. When you're critical of that ideology, they call you anti-Semitic, which in itself is anti-Semitic. You are saying that if you believe that you need to be taken over this land by any means necessary, and you can't be critical of that, makes you anti-Semitic, makes every other Jew who isn't a Zionist. Am I making sense? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole thing is an oxymoron. They've bastardized Judaism and they've mixed it up with Zionism, and the two aren't related.
Yeah.
And when you actually deep Israel, all them pussios up on the top are from Europe.
Yeah.
Netanyahu's from Poland.
Yeah.
The previous president, again, she's from Poland or from Russia, and also, I hate to say it, half of the government lobby in Israel are from Morocco. The pussios.
Yeah. This is it.
So none of them really came from Judaism. None of them really got brought up with Judaism. None of them. All they want is free, cheap land, and they want to take it by any means necessary. And all of this as well. Let's not forget, they just bombed another camp.
Mm.
I just saw a trigger warning, but I just saw a dead 25-day-old baby. What the fuck do I give a shit about what Gary Lineker is saying? What are we talking about? This is just another agenda for them just to hide and distract the media of what's really going on. Not the media, sorry. Distract the population of what's really going on. It's just nasty. Everything's just nasty behavior.
For real, yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame, man. And they'll continue with this. They'll continue, unfortunately.
Yeah. And don't forget, they did the same thing, or kind of, but they kind of got that Sangeeta, the LBC presenter, they got her out of here.
Yeah.
When she was caught, when she was literally quoting a fact while talking to the Israeli ambassador, they got her the hell out of here. And then they replaced her with Fiona Feltz, who's an avid Zionist.
Yep, she is indeed. Speaking facts.
So all of this again, it's just the same playbook. It's the same playbook. It's happening over and over and over. It's just,
and you know, it's
genuinely depressing.
Yeah, and you know, it's after that you got people like what's his name, James O'Brien, and them, like really going hard for Israel now. You know what I'm saying? Like after they got rid of Sangeeta, innit? You know what I'm saying?
What, James O'Brien's going hard for Israel?
Yeah, but basically he was defending their decision to get rid of her. He was making
I did see that.
You know what I'm saying? That's just another way to me, anyway, of defending their agenda. Because anybody who's speaking against it, right, or just trying to highlight what's going on over there, you get rid of. You know
this is what we were talking. We had a conversation. We had a conversation outside of obviously outside of the show, in which real revolution is never televised. Real revolution is never allowed to breed within the mainstream media.
Yeah.
If you're allowed to speak what you really want to speak and the media allow you, then you're not a revolutionary. So whenever anyone is speaking the truth, you're kicked. You're sent. You go away. No, you're done. You're wrapped. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Same with that Miss Rachel, the woman who does the shows for kids. They tried to get her out of here.
Who's Miss Rachel?
What Miss Rachel do?
The angel that Miss Rachel is. She said the babies dying in Gaza are making me sad.
Wait, what did she do?
And they said no. She basically said, I don't want kids to die. All these kids I'm seeing in Gaza dying is upsetting. I hope everything gets sorted out. Then they said, no, you're anti-Semitic.
I promise you, they can never get Miss Rachel out of here. They get Gary
Trust
out
me.
of here. They cannot. They get Peppa Pig out of here before they get Miss Rachel out of here. Do you see them?
Peppa Pig's a waste man, though.
Miss Rachel. Oh, they're putting up. The way the babies ride with Miss Rachel.
I ride for Miss Rachel. She was entertaining my son all through a lockdown, bro.
Listen, the way she gets those babies, it's like laced with crack. I don't know what it is. That's
But it's just the same thing, man. It's just the same
thing.
Though.
I just think that's a bit.
No, she's good, man. She's up.
Oh no, not her anymore. No, Miss Rachel's good. Like I'm never worried about whatever she's going through. She's fine. I mean, Gary.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he's up as well, man. He's already got millions in the bank. He's all right, but I think I saw an interview with him recently where they were asking him, how does it feel to be? How are they treating you? And I think his response was, this isn't the conversation. There's kids dying. Why is saying that kids are dying wrong a bad thing? And what's going on? Yeah. It's just the same thing. It's just nasty, and it's consistently depressing. And I'm reminded of how nasty people are, where they don't do their own research and just kind of listen to the media and just brainwashed.
Yeah.
Everything just going. I think I said this last year when we were doing the whole elections. Again, sorry, I'm kind of I'm diverting on the main subject, but everything you're seeing from the government to the by-election to everything is showing us we're moving more and more towards the far right every day. And I want to put money down that I think Nigel Farage is going to be the next president, the next prime minister. Sorry.
Hey, keep your money, man.
Right, we'll see.
It's not gonna.
All right. You had Keir Starmer saying what he was saying the other day and what he tweeted, just wild shit. They got destroyed in the by-election. He's not moving properly. Everything he's saying, everything he's doing, it's allowing. Remember, centre allows the right to breathe.
Yes.
And it happened in France. It nearly happened in France. They were literally hairs away from allowing that right wing woman to win. Yeah.
Le Pen.
So, and I swear we said this last year as well. It's gonna if we're not gonna get it, inshallah we don't. But if we don't get it, it will be very close to getting it.
Boy.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I guess we shall see, man. We shall see, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
I'm gonna leave you lot.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, Ramsey.
Thanks, y'all.
Pleasure.
All right, peace.
All right.
Well,
I think we can wrap it up there.
Sorry, let's get into Word on Road, man, I guess. Brent, please just leave the trigger warning banner up. Just press. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. Anyway, so firstly, right, so Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer has responded to claims from Tory Lanez's legal team that they have proof now, allegedly, that Kelsey's the one that shot Megan. What is the proof? I hear you ask me. The proof is, let's say Kelsey's the one that shot Megan. I said something else. I said Kelsey. Oh, okay. The proof is Kelsey's driver coming forward to say that he heard Kelsey admitting to her husband. Remember, her husband is that Carl guy, the one who was signed to, who signed Megan before. So remember she had the issue with her label. Is that 50? I don't know they had the number in there, 1501 or something crazy like that. Where is Fetty Wap? He's still in jail.
I don't even know,
Sorry.
Last I heard is he was broke.
Well, if it happens when you're in jail.
Which is bad, man.
I just think it was 1738, my bad. But anyway, so she was signed, Megan was signed to this deal and blah, blah, blah. And it was owned by a guy, or he was one of the guys, Carl, or whatever the case is. And obviously, I think she's Rock Nation. I don't know if she's with them, but she's with somebody, right? But yeah, so that's Kelsey's husband, basically. So the guy, the proof they have is this bodyguard of Kelsey Harris, and he's basically saying that he allegedly heard Kelsey, well, he didn't allege that he's not alleging, I'm alleging, but he's saying as a matter of fact that he heard Kelsey basically talking to her husband, they're having a conversation, and he heard Kelsey saying that she's the one who shot Megan. So basically, she shot Megan 3 times. Then Tory came to get the gun, and in the tussle for the gun, or the gun falling on the ground, the gun went off 2 more times. I didn't know. Anyway, I'm not a gun expert. That's where I draw the line on this Word on Road. But apparently the gun went off twice, and so that's what happened. So of course, I guess Tory's people obviously are going to be trying to see what they can do with that information. So yeah, so that's basically what they're saying. And Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer has come forward. Oh yeah, the bodyguard said that he just couldn't live with himself knowing this truth.
You know,
couldn't live with himself. So
I was gonna say, when I heard about this, I thought the guy that came forward was there. That's what I thought.
No, hearsay. He heard. But my thing is though, like in my mind, because Carl is not, who can I even do? Carl is not Denzel Washington. Carl's image doesn't give Jonathan Majors don't belong to the streets. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Carl is more on the Migos, Future,
yeah.
that kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean? So in my mind, if you're his security guard, because they were saying this man's full name, so I hope he's in witness protection. That's all I'm gonna say. So my thing is that if you are somebody who is protecting the wife of your boss, right? because he was meant to he's like a bodyguard, driver, whatever the case is, right? In my mind, I would think it's hard for you to snitch in such a manner. You guys already know where I stand. I'm not from the streets. I don't live in the streets, to the glory of God. So I don't believe in the snitching thing anyway, personally. Not just for me, but for others too. But I just would have thought, you know what I mean? And I think this happened in 2020. The trial went on for as long as it did. I'm sure there would have been a whole public appeal, like, if anyone knows anything, please come forward kind of thing. But who am I to judge when a man's conscience gets right? Whomst am I, right? So obviously now he said he just can't live with himself. He can't live with himself. He can't live with this in the heart. And he cannot watch a black man be in jail for something he didn't do. So that was the push that he needed to come forward and to say that, hey, on a random afternoon Tuesday, here's the conversation I heard. Cool. Obviously, we just forget the things that Tory Lanez did. We just forget him mocking Megan, mocking the foot, mocking all that stuff. We'll forget. We'll forget dance, bitch dance. We'll forget that. Brent, we'll forget that. Why? Because the driver heard the confession. All right? Okay. Cool. All right.
Oh, man.
That's just great. So anyway, that's just, but anyway, I think Megan's lawyer, Alex Spiro. I think that's OJ's one, so Spiro. Alex Spiro is just like, I think his statement was just good. Like, okay, let's just, cool. He says Tory Lanez was tried and convicted by a jury of his peers and his case was properly adjudicated through the court system. This is not a political matter. This is a case of a violent assault that was resolved in the court of law. Because really, people are forgetting that Megan didn't take, what's his name? What's that leprechaun's name? Tory to court. The state did. The state did because he's an immigrant who I believe, wasn't he on probation or something like that? And he was in probation, and then he was in possession of a gun. That was his situation. It's like, you have a gun when you shouldn't have a gun. You don't even go here whilst you have a gun. So that's part of his problem. Really and truly. Because I think even when we talked about his what it was that he was found guilty of, wasn't it? Yeah, so he was, that's what he was charged with. What did he get guilty of? I don't know. I don't care about Tory Lanez anyway. But yeah, so that's basically what's happening. But her lawyer's obviously responding to that. I don't think they're caring much for it. And also, I don't know. I guess if the driver wasn't, I was going to say, why wouldn't they ask the driver at the time to be one of the people that testifies? But he wasn't there. It's just a conversation that he heard. He just was present during pillow talk. So that's just there. Next trigger warning. Halle Bailey. Basically, Halle Bailey filed a restraining order. Also, sorry, in this whole thing with Megan and Chris Brown's dumbass then posted free Tory, and I just thought, I just love when I know that I made the right decision in life. So that's a bonus to me on this. Anyway, what's her lovely name? Halle Bailey, the Little Mermaid. She basically filed a restraining order against DDG, who is the father of her child. Just as a reminder of who DDG is, he is a streamer. He also makes music. People are trying to say that she did all of this because he's got an album out. But no one even knew he had an album out. It's funny. Anyway, so he's a streamer. He's a what's it called? He's a streamer and he raps or whatever, wherever he does. I'll remind you of one of the songs that he did. One of the songs he did was about how jealous he was of his girlfriend's success and how he was really considering ruining her career, doing something to just ruin her career. That's the kind of person we're dealing with here. They had a child together. He was just the cutest thing. I don't understand when people are in this situation. I'll tell you what happens, but people are in this situation saying, she should have never had a kid with him. And one of the things that really, really irks me in life is when people are like, you should have never, you should have never done this. Okay, but I did. Baby's here. And that baby's the cutest. That baby's, I smile every time I see his cute look. He's just such a cutie. But the baby's here now. Saying she should have never had a kid with him, or what does that do? How does that help? Anyway, forget that. So basically, she filed a restraining order against him. I've talked about it a few times on here, where he basically goes online and he claims that he has not been allowed to see his child. And I remember the last time I said what he needs to do then is go to court. He needs to go to court. If you know you're trying to see your child and you feel like the mother of your child, and this is what all men need to do. If you feel like the mother of your child is using the children against you, go to court. But the reality is that a lot of men don't do that, because then that means they're actually under obligation to show up and not just be a ad hoc parent when they feel like it. That means you actually have a schedule and you actually have to stick with it, and you have to plan your life around the schedule to take care of your child. And that's not as convenient as just popping in whenever you feel like it. Come in the door, pick the baby up, put the baby down, see you next weekend. That's just easier, right? That's just an easier thing to do. So anyway, he obviously never went to the court. Do you know why I never went to the court? Because he was abusing this girl. He was physically abusing this girl. He was physically abusing this girl. That's the sad part. So basically, she says that he is emotionally abusive, been physically violent with her in front of their child. He's been verbally abusive, calls her a bitch in front of the baby. He's also been financially abusive, where he would. So one time his mom was meant to babysit, come and get the child or whatever, and she was out of their state or whatever. The mom was gonna come. He said he's not booking a return ticket, so she should be the return ticket. But this is for you. This is so you can see your child, kind of thing. She says that he also gets his fans to basically bully her. So every time he goes online and he does those little speeches about how he hasn't seen his child, he's basically trying to stir up a whole thing. And this is what I mean about, this is what we were talking about earlier this morning about Brent, about the way abusers are very, very manipulative. Because the time that he's come online and he's done that, she detailed those moments. He did it recently, and it was very detailed, like a 52-page thing. I mean, it's obviously pages. It includes a court document where you're basically petitioning and you're ticking I read all of it. Viewed all the material, everything, right? Taking this job seriously. But, so she details a lot. It's very, very detailed. I might put it in the Discord for anyone who wants to read it, but it's very, very detailed and whatever. She gives pictures and whatever. So basically, one of the cases of the violence, the physical violence, I think that was in January. I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly the timelines of it all, because between reading Cass's thing, my brain is tired. There's too many timelines. But basically, on one occasion, I think the first time he was physically violent with her was in January. And basically, what was it? He basically came over to pick up their son or whatever. She wanted to have a conversation with him about, this is the worst one actually. This is the one where she actually had a chipped tooth and everything. So she was talking to him about, okay, let's have a schedule. Let's have a proper schedule, a visitation schedule. Remember, he's always online, always on the stream, talking about, oh, I can't see my child. She said that she's been trying to have visitation conversations with him, like set up a proper schedule for months. But he's just not willing to have that conversation. Then he'll go online and say, she's not allowing me to see my child. She's even tried to have it with his mum, who I'm going to talk about. Because behind every abusive son is a stupid mother who is enabling the foolishness. There's that. I'll talk about her. But she was doing that. So anyway, he was getting agitated and just getting annoyed and calling her and just like, again, calling her a bitch or whatever. So she's then gone in the car to help, like, obviously to buckle the child in, which a lot of people do, put the child in the car seat. Then he's then said to her, get out of my car, bitch. Then she was just like, at this point, she's just thinking, I don't know if I can trust, like, I don't feel safe and comfortable leaving the baby with you if you're this agitated and this angry. Anyway, a tussle starts. He's then pushed her into the door, wherever. He slammed her face on the steering wheel. That's where she's chipped a tooth. She did add the picture to what's it called? To the court evidence as well. And then he's left her with bruises and whatever the case is. So she's taking pictures of that as well. She said all of that material is in there. And then so, because she was just like, you're too angry. And she was upset and whatever. And then he was like, oh, if you don't want to get out of my car then, this is after he's assaulted her. He was like, oh, fine then, you're going to come with us then. So he basically, in a way it's a kidnapping, to be fair. He basically just locked her in the car and then drove to his mum's house. She then gets it. She's obviously hysterical, crying or whatever, lets them know what's just happened and saying that she doesn't feel comfortable, blah, blah, blah. They're basically, his family's just like, oh, it's fine, like, just leave the baby, it'll be okay. Didn't try to get involved, didn't try to have any conversations, nothing. Just enabling his absolute foolishness. Anyway, so that happens. She obviously leaves very upset and whatever the case is, right? Another time, this weirdo came into our house. This was the one where I think I reported one of these times where he said that he hasn't been able to see his child, but the baby was sick. She was sick, the baby was sick. And she was like, you can't take him because we're both sick. We're both in bed sick. He apparently came to the house and she was just like, he's sick, you can't take him or whatever the case is. He then starts tussling with her. He sees that her ring camera is on. Obviously, he's insulting her and whatever. Sees the ring camera is on. He takes the ring camera and throws it out of the house. She then goes out to pick up the ring camera to connect it back. He then locks her out of her house.
Oh, come on.
So then now she's having to go through the back, climb through this and whatever else. She gets back in the house. Now he's fighting with her, whatever the case is, like, and she's like, you can't take the baby. Like, you can't, the baby's ill, whatever the case is. But also, I just don't have the time for you. Then he also does the thing where he keeps saying that she's sleeping with this person. They broke up in October. When they break up, was it October? Yeah, October last year. But he keeps saying, oh, you're sleeping with this person. You're this, you're her, you're a slut, you're this or whatever. All this kind of insult, whatever. So then she then calls her family member just to let them know that this is what's like, I'm in danger, basically. He is then clocked that the person on the phone. So then he's arguing with her more, whatever. He then clocks that the camera is still on. The camera is back on. He removes the camera again and smashes it. Then he takes her phone and then leaves with her phone. So while he's doing all that, she's then picked up the baby. Like, okay, you're not going to take the baby. He's then decided that he's going to leave without her phone. With her phone. So she's then running after him outside saying, give my phone back. He then throws the phone out and he's like, go get it, bitch. This is what he does, right? There was that situation. Another time, she said also when she set schedules of like, okay, you got the baby for this amount of days, bring the baby back. And he would say, for example, I'll be back at 3 o'clock. This particular occasion, he decides he's going to come at 12 o'clock. She's in the court documents is like, this man does not have a key to my house. Somehow, he broke into her house. He broke into her house, then went to her bedroom. Her bed was a mess. Then he took a picture and then said, so this is what you be on. LOL, cool. And she said she understood that to mean that, but he's basically accusing her of sleeping with somebody. And she was just like, it's just tiring at this point, right? And then he did that. So she was saying how she's scared because it's like, if you don't have a key to my house, how are you breaking into my house when I'm not here kind of thing? There was that. There was something else this weirdo did. Was it that? Yes, and also on his streaming thing as well, he's done this thing where his followers are now saying free Halo. Free Halo, bitch. Sorry. Yeah, free Halo, bitch. Halo's a baby. This is what they're trying to do. She says that also he doesn't understand. So she's basically filed for, cut a long story short, she's filed a restraining order and it's been granted. The judge granted it straight away. She is also asking for sole custody. So she's going to film in Italy for 2 months from June, and she's basically asked for the baby to come with her because she says she does not feel safe leaving the baby with him. And also as well, he would take the baby and then say things like he's not going to bring the baby back and stuff like that. Do you get what I mean? Like just weird stuff. And he does that. He sends her like a lot of like manipulative and abusive messages and all that, just stuff like that basically. And yeah, so she said, she's been granted to take the baby with her to Italy because she said she's going to have a nanny there and she's going to have family there as well that can support the baby. Also, a lot of times when he does ask for the baby, he basically only asks for the babies for the stream. And it's always random. He'll just call him like, oh, by the way, I need the baby. I'm coming now to get the baby kind of thing. It's never prepped. It's never planned, nothing. And she said even when she's at work, she will have to be sorting things out because he's just done. It's one of those things where it's like he gets so angry and she just can't bother to deal with it. And also a lot of times when he asks for the baby anyway, he's not even watching the baby. He leaves the baby with his mum. The baby's with his mum. The baby's with his mother. Yeah. I don't know if he lives with his mum or whatever it is, but the baby is in the mum's care. And so she also included texts where she's talking to the mum or arranging visitation with the mum and whatever, which was interesting. So the reason why she even filed this, the last straw for her, I guess, was that she was on holiday recently, last week actually, with her sister Chloe, and they went in St. Lucia, and then a random fan or something took a picture, right, posted it on the gram or whatever. Then they had another picture of it's not Brent Fires, it's all them R&B guys. What's this one's name?
It is Brent Fires.
He's Brent Fires, right? Okay, I was thinking Lucky Day. Brent Fires, right? So they had a picture of Brent Fires and it's just tropical background. And so they basically said that she's on a vacation. This time she's with her sister and the baby, right? Because it's Mother's Day. They've gone to celebrate Mother's Day. This mug, right? I think Academics is involved in somehow. I think Academics then posted in his...
Always. Sorry, I don't want to derail what you're saying.
He's always involved. So then someone's posted that or whatever. So he's then taken this rumor and then sent it to her and said, "Oh, so you're away with you're out here with another guy." He's like, "Oh, if you think it's ruining my image, if you think you're hurting me, you're only ruining your image." And he was like, "Watch, when I have the baby, I'm gonna do mine back." First of all, heal and get over. Just get it. She's not with you. She doesn't want to be with you anymore. So that's what he did. So that was kind of, and so she messaged him back saying, "Listen, I'm with my sister and somebody else." And as in like it's another, I think a family member or whatever. She was on family vacation, and she's like, I will never have a random man with the son. Like I'm with my son, but she said, "I hope everything is all right with you. Take care of yourself and just leave me alone on this Mother's Day." Blah blah blah. So he sent her like insulting text messages, and all of that is included in the court documents. And then, yeah. So the Met Gala. Oh gosh, the Met Gala. She was having a conversation with his mum. That keeping updated, I'm going to be back on this date, blah, 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 blah. She's like, she kept saying, "Oh, I'm messaging him. Does he want to have the child? He's airing me. Do you know if he wants to?" The mum's like, "Oh, I'm going to find out from him." Okay. And he said to him, he told his mum to tell her that he will have the baby when they get back on May 11th. The gala is May the 6th. This mug goes online the day of the gala, of the Met Gala, and says to people that this is when they coined "Free Halo Bitch." And says that he's not allowed to see his child. She's keeping his child from him. But she asked you. She'd been chasing you. Otherwise, she wouldn't have flown to the Met Gala with a baby. Do you get me? So he's just been doing these very manipulative things and whatever. Anyway, 2 days ago now, this mug must have tweeted talking about, "Oh, whenever you want to get angry at me, he posted a picture of him when he was a kid. And he's like, "Oh, whenever you want to get angry at me," I don't know if it's 2 days ago, yesterday, whatever. Just remember this is the guy you're upset with. And it's like it's him as a kid with glasses on, trying to look all cute and whatnot. Obviously, because he knew this was coming. So then it turns out anyway, he was streaming with some white guy that apparently I hear is very racist and sexist and all the isms that's going on in the land. He didn't know something like that, some white stupid guy. But anyway, he's streaming with a guy when allegedly the news drops. Personally, I believe he would have known that you're not allowed to be within 100 yards of this woman that you have a child with before TMZ reported it. Yeah. But anyway, they're gonna just get the actor. He's never gonna get a Little Mermaid role, but he's trying to. Jerry is attempting. So now he's with the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh my gosh, like, what's this news? Like, what the hell?" Sorry, my brain's like, "What the hell?" Anyway, then he's trying to react like, "Oh my gosh, like what?" And then the guy's like, "No, the world, you guys are not going to lie about this man. He's a good guy. He's my friend. He's a good father. You're not going to make up lies about him." And then the guy ends with, "Just listen to R. Kelly." Not that he was doing well anyway. Not that he was doing well anyway. But it's just been a foolishness. I'll be honest with you. I think more than anything, I'm very proud of her for being able to stand up for herself the way she did and being able to like just speak out and go to the courts and do what it is that she needs to do, included all the evidence and whatever. It's obviously people are still going to chat, say the nonsense they want to say and whatever else. And they do. But I'm glad that she was able to do this, and I'm glad that the judge was able to see that there is enough evidence for that. Obviously, we don't have access to the Ring camera footage, but it was also included in the what's it called, in the court document. But we can see the bruises, we can see the chipped tooth, we can see the text messages, we can see. She also included like how his fans are constantly bullying her and like saying horrible things to her. She included all of that stuff in there. So yeah, love and light to her. She's seeking sole custody, and she's asking for there to be once a week supervised visits, 6 hours a day. 6 hours visit, basically supervised somewhere else, which I think that's fair, considering that he's a psycho. That's fair. It's just a shame.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
It's just a shame.
Such a shame, man.
It's a shame, but it's interesting because he's very good at being manipulative, and this is why I'm here for Grace again, because they know how to be manipulative. Do you get what I mean? Before I get to him, Soulja Boy then tweeted talking about, "You a bitch ass nigga for putting your hands on Halle, little nigga." Then he at DDG. Then he says, "If I catch you, I'm beating the fuck out of you." On hearing that, it sounds like a positive thing. I watched Soulja Boy on reality TV show fighting his then girlfriend Nia. Was it Naya? I think it's Naya. And Waka Flocka and Tammy and all these other couples in the house had to run to her aid. Allegedly, he also just had a whole court case about his assistant and assaulting his assistant. I don't know if it was a sexual or physical thing. So it's just like, so people are just on a, this you? Like, not from you. There's that. DDG's, sorry, go on.
Sorry, Black Rob has asked for you to cover the man's side of the story.
What's the man's side? DDG side?
Yeah.
What's his side?
Black Rob wants to contribute to that, I think.
Okay, he can.
Black Rob, can you come to the Discord and tell us what his side
What his side
please?
is? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, and then DDG's mum then says, she then posted and says, I don't usually comment or say anything on this internet, even with all the negativity, the lies and hatred towards mine. However, these accusations have made me realize that I have been quiet too long. And I hope for the rest of her days she stays quiet. That's my hope.
But does she at least communicate with...
She communicates with Hallie. And she's like, I miss you guys, or can't wait to see you guys, and how's the baby, and all that stuff. But the thing is, I always say that at the end of the day, right, one thing, like, you can be, there's some mothers that doesn't matter how nice they are to you, they will always support their degenerate son.
But
Black Rob said he doesn't want to contribute. He doesn't know the side.
Oh.
But he wanted you to...
Cover the side.
Yeah.
I did cover the side. He beat her.
He thinks there's more.
Okay, that's fine. He can... Black Rob's on Discord, right?
He said he doesn't want to contribute.
No. I mean like he's on the Discord platform.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'll post the legal documents on there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, DDG has not been to court.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he had any bruises on him. But I might be wrong. Maybe now he might do a counter lawsuits.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll be here to report that.
I think he just doesn't believe anything that is in the court documents, basically.
No, but my information I got was not from TMZ.
He thinks that you've just pulled it up your bum bum.
Oh, I do have a big ass, but it doesn't include this. What does that say? Can you guys see far?
You know, Black Rob never needs to
what does that say?
Let me say. It says,
A bit more. Request for domestic violence restraining order.
thank you very much. What does that say there? Hold on.
Protection Bailey, sorry.
Halle Bailey, and he's got an
25.
age. Thank you very much. And so this is a Google document.
There's a lot of pages. You can see the scroll bar on the right.
Right, thank you very much. I'll scroll to the end just in case
just
that he
for
says
him,
that.
just for him, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So this is all the things I read. Happily, here we go. Exhibit 1.
God damn it.
So there's the bruises.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, there's the bruises. There's the bruises.
Black Rob, are you looking at this?
There's the chipped tooth.
Can you provide the link
I'll put
for
this on
Black Rob,
Discord
please?
for sure.
Yeah.
I will.
He
And then
likes-
here's the text that he sent
Yeah.
about the bedroom thing. She filed a police report for one of the incidents. I can't remember which one, but she filed a police report for one of them. So there's that as well. There's that. There's all the stuff in there. Text between her and his mum. This is Exhibit 6, which is Free Halo Bitch, which is what his fans have started doing. More tweets and stuff. This is the message that he sent her when he thought she was with Brent Fires. So it's a screenshot of Halle Bailey and DDG's conversations. There it is, all there. And there's Academic's name. Academics. That was a tweet. And then this is the message that she sent him, and she said, Daryl, his full name is Daryl, are you not tired of harassing me? You make up a new lie on me every day. I'm in St. Lucia having fun with Sheme and Chloe, not with any man out here. I wouldn't do that. I have Halo. I told your mum I was going to be with my sister last week. Please let me enjoy my Mother's Day in peace. I hope you are okay and feel better soon. I also mentioned that he messaged her when she was in St. Lucia. Is that to your taste, Black Robert? Okay. So I'm glad we sorted that out. Lastly.
Good morning, Black Rob.
Oh, wonderful. We've got the side.
Well done, Brent. Your stirring worked. You got me on the line. I wasn't disputing anything you said. I wasn't trying to say that what you're saying wasn't right, or I just wanted to know if there was anything from his perspective because we only just got heard. That's all I was trying to say.
Oh, no, he well, to be fair, he can't. Oh, also, to be fair, that just reminded me, he can't talk about her on the stream anymore, which personally, I think the last time I talked about them, I said I'm sick of talking about DDG and Halle. So I'm very pleased about it. So he can't mention her or the baby on stream anymore. He can't have the baby on stream anymore. So I don't think he's even, I suppose he can talk about it, but he just can't talk about it on the stream. But he did tweet that he's fine and he'll be on stream soon. He hasn't given any side of his. But also I will say as well, this is not his first allegation. His ex-girlfriend Ruby Rose also claimed domestic abuse at his hand.
Do you know about the what you call it, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni stuff, right? That court case taught me a little bit of a lesson about just waiting a little bit, because there was a lot of media spin to make it look like Justin, for example, was like being a creep towards Blake, and then when we waited a little bit longer, I heard the other side. You actually found that there was the other way around, and there was a smear campaign orchestrated by Blake Lively and her husband to make Justin look like a creep because they wanted to steal the movie off of him. So that's why I'm always like, let's just see what both sides said, and most likely, maybe all there is to it is what's in the report right now, based on what Haley said. But when you don't hear both sides, it always just skews down to one side, and you don't get the full picture yet. So you might get stuff from him, and it doesn't change how we view any of it. But sometimes I'm always like, let's see what he says as well, and then come to like a better conclusion. Do you know what I mean?
I get what you mean, but unfortunately, because of Worden Road, I have to come and report like what's just happened, and then in the event that something else happens, I think that happened with Jonathan Majors when we first found out what it was, blah blah, and then we saw the video of like the video footage, something that she did, blah blah, and then I'm able to come back the second time. But I think with DDG, I mean, I don't like the guy. I've never shied away from saying I don't like the guy, and I feel like he was always a weirdo and a creep for moving, like publicly shaming her the way he did, because I think that sometimes it's the signs of abuse that you can see.
There's booze, there's pictures.
Yes,
but
for real.
even before I get you, but even before the pictures and stuff, I think it's a very weird thing to have a girlfriend who is at the peak of her career, and you are you considered ruining her career. And it's not like, you feel envy, you feel jealousy, fair enough. But to feel so okay that you come out and say that, it's just a bit weird. And again, even like with the whole, I don't have to see my child. He claimed he hadn't seen his child for months. And I remember she tweeted back then like, no, you have your child 2 weeks ago, or you were with your child, blah, blah, blah. Like, all these things, there's other ways to go around it. So if you're an attention seeker in the way you're trying to get justice, I just don't have that much empathy for you. DDG wise is what I'm talking about. Do you get what I mean?
Eddie with the ad-libs.
Second?
You guys.
So when you saw those pictures of Black Rob, what did you think? Did you think there was still space for DDG to be justified in what he did?
I don't think there's. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that.
Blake Lively and the other thing.
I was using an example of coming to a conclusion and then hearing the other side, and then maybe your views had changed. Not to say that will happen in this case. I'm saying that's probably like a more measured approach in terms of how to report on like stuff when you only hear one side. Do you know what I mean?
I get it, but then
I
knew about
I'm not disputing it. I'm sure anything that comes out won't change but. It's good to hear.
It's not even that though. It's that I knew about the Ruby Rose allegations against him in the past, and
so maybe you just found more information.
And we've seen the behaviors that he's like. We've seen how he's behaved. Like, these are things that abusers do. Like, these are. Anyway, this is how I operate personally. Anyway, like I don't lose sleep on how I operate. Like, I'm perfectly fine to believe abuse victims when they come forward, men or women. I'm perfectly fine to believe them when they come forward. And then if I have to change my mind, then fair enough. But I think for me, the way I think about it, I'd rather believe them first and then have to change my mind than not believe them and then be like, damn, should have believed them in the first place. So,
but I don't think it's binary. I don't think it's believing or not believing them, because I'm not even saying I don't believe it. I'm just more like, it's more just like I've got the information, and from like I've got perspective now, and then just seeing what the other perspective is. But I haven't made a very. It's not like I'm not believing her. I actually probably do believe her based on the fact that, as she said, Ruby Rose, if there's a pattern with previous people, then it's more likely that it did happen than it didn't. But anyway, I don't think
I 100% get you. But I think for me is I don't know if you've been tuned in from the beginning of the show when I mentioned to Brent and I said about how when I'm reading things to do with assaults and whether it's someone who's not popular or whether it's the most popular woman in the world or whatever the case is, it's not so far removed from a reality I know. So unfortunately,
which is true, which I get, which is why sometimes maybe because it's more close to home, that's why, and maybe so maybe if it's something that I've experienced and I see it more, I can be more. Yes, I get it. Maybe it's because it's close to home. That's why you're more inclined to be like, okay, defend first and then get more details later.
Because it's really the language that women use. Because women, when women hear things, it's always we just automatically think, do we believe this person or not? Because sometimes some women have been in situations where they haven't been believed. That it's just always a belief thing. Because unfortunately, the way that everything else can then go moving on from there, it always just comes down to whether you're believed or not. Even when people go to the police, if the police don't believe that what you're telling them is true, they won't really care for your case. Do you get me? So it always
they won't care.
It comes down to whether you believe people or not.
Question for you:
yes.
If someone in your life or someone you know said something happened, and then actually not in your life, that's probably not a good example. But like, okay, let's do media stuff. If someone like a male friend of yours or something said, it's not that I don't believe them, I just want to wait for more information. Do you take that as someone saying they don't believe them?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. It depends what they say afterwards.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying, I'm reserving my right to have an opinion until I hear more information.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
I've probably done that as well without thinking about it. If I see something online, I scroll. It's not everyone's case that I go this in depth with, or I care to like read up facts on, or whatever the case is. But I think sometimes when people say it always just depends on what follows after. Because sometimes people say that and then they contradict themselves by giving you reasons as to why it is that they don't, like, say for example, they'll be like, oh, I just want to wait for more information to come out. Then you go on a whole spiel about, oh, because women lie and women do this and that. Okay, sorry, that's great.
Yeah, but for like the Meghan one, for example, like there's information that's come out that now made me think, I don't know because I thought that Tory 100% did it, and then now that more information come out, I'm like, I don't know, but do you know what I mean?
I get you, and that makes sense. Like, there's people, that makes sense. But I think even with I'm still not convinced with the Tory one.
Oh, so
I have to see video footage of Tory of Kelsey like this for me to be like, okay, fair, Tory didn't do it. Because everything Tory, anyway,
So Black Rob, so talk to us about this Tory thing. So you're now thinking he is an innocent man, yeah?
Could be.
I think there's a potential that could be the case.
All right, and why didn't he say anything?
I don't know. I don't know why he didn't say anything. Maybe I don't even know why he didn't say anything. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Some hood mentality of I don't snitch, but
he's
I can see him thinking like that,
man.
Yeah, but people think like that. Some people they got so much in that hood code that they work against their own interests.
But I find that wild though. Like, you're in prison for 10 years.
Brother, I don't know what you're saying.
You're in prison. No, but I get what you're saying though, because people do that though. Because that's why people do that.
People take responsibility for a
Brent.
woman.
Don't act like you know that happens.
Another woman? A man?
Your sister's keeper.
A man? What? I can see him doing it for his brethren.
Yeah, to be fair, there is a line.
A woman?
There is a line with the snitchery.
I don't know.
I don't know why he never said it was Kelsey.
I don't know about that. And what's this dance bitch stuff?
I don't know. But all I'm saying is,
please,
that's what Megan. That was in Megan's testimony.
I want to hear
Megan said,
because I'm interested. I'm interested in this new information that's come out. Right, this bodyguard that heard her say that she shot her, because there were different shots that were let off in it.
Yeah, so he's saying that Kelsey did 3, and then the last 2 happened when Tory was fighting Kelsey for the gun, taking the gun from her, and the gun fell on the floor, and that was the last 2. And so I don't know at which shot.
Tory's fingerprints aren't even on the gun.
But remember
and then
again,
also the lawyer. How about the lawyer? Tory lawyer.
Is Tory jailed for shooting Meghan, or is Tory jailed for possession of a gun?
Yeah, that's the thing.
When he shouldn't be. Because I think that's it. She just happened to be a witness. It's like Cassie, right? the case is not about whether did he abuse
It's
Cassie.
about trafficking, yeah.
It's about trafficking. But Cassie
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
one of the victims in there. So with the
That's
case
a good
with
point.
Tori, because remember again when she was shot, blah blah blah, when it all happened that night, police asked her. She said, "Oh, I stepped on glass," because she said she didn't want to get the black guy in trouble. So she was never the one who went to the police. She never went to the
Yeah.
police.
No.
The
that's
doctor was the
right.
one who was like, "You say you step on glass, but it's actually bullet. This is just like a bullet wound or whatever the case is."
So Black Rob.
But there's
So
two discussions being had
if
right now.
he's
There's
in
like the legal.
prison, Black Rob, if he's in prison for possession of a gun, why
that's
are you
guilty then,
saying
I
he's innocent?
Okay, so
then?
there's two conversations being had now, and yeah, I didn't make that distinction. So yeah, if it's about possession of a firearm, then I guess he's guilty. So maybe there doesn't need to be appeal. If it's the court of public opinion as to whether he shot Megan or not, that's maybe where I'm like, oh, my opinion might have changed. But I guess in the legal standpoint, yeah, I guess if it's possession of firearm, I think it's an open and shut case then.
Oh, so you're saying he said dance bridge when Kelsey was shooting up Megan?
I'm not saying that, and
Yeah.
don't
No,
put that mouth.
is that a possibility then?
I don't know. You tell me.
Because also Kelsey told them
Don't
that
try to clip me.
Tori did it, but then she went on to ask for immunity, and then when she was asked, she went answering questions directly about Tori.
But I think I also remembered, correct me if I'm wrong, Black Rob, you obviously over this. Kelsey dropped a track saying that she
Yeah.
shot Megan. Early days.
Is she okay?
Yeah, and
Maybe that's why she asked for immunity then.
she flipped it.
Exactly. So there you go.
Maybe. Who
Maybe.
knows?
But as she said, if it's not about the shooting, then it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if they can prove he didn't shoot her, then does it?
No, but then people are still gonna cuss Megan and
Yeah.
insist that she's a liar because she said that Tori shot her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The proof about who shot her is more about public perception and public opinion.
Yeah.
That will make
Rather
or
than
break
legally.
how people. Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Interesting.
Um,
Ed says Lanes was convicted in a jury trial on 3 felonies in respect to the shooting: assault with a semi-automatic handgun, having a loaded and unregistered firearm in a vehicle. So yeah, he was then technically charged as well for assault for shooting her.
Okay. So but they get rid of one charge, but the other charge is still there. So maybe it reduces the sentence. But
Yeah, but if he was found guilty on all 3 on that,
yeah, but I'm saying the assault of a semi-automatic gun. That means that. I don't know. I'm not.
Like, they
legal.
would have had
Does that
proof
mean
then.
that he shot it? Does that mean that they're saying that he got found guilty of shooting the gun?
basically, yeah. So he was found guilty of having possession of the gun because I think it's registered team or whatever
Yeah.
the case is. But he was also found guilty of committing an assault with your gun.
Yeah. So if they can find that he didn't shoot it, then maybe that's 3 felonies. They can go down to 1, and maybe his time could get reduced. So maybe it's
Yeah.
actually worth proving that he didn't shoot it.
So I think that's what his lawyers trying to do. They want basically reduced time. Or no, actually, no, I think they said they just wanted to be scrapped some.
But then you also heard. Have you heard? Do you know why they want it scrapped? Have you also heard about his lawyer? Apparently, his lawyer has links to Rock Nation that they did. She
Yes,
didn't,
I reported on that.
Yeah, so
I
it's
tried to
like
say something like that.
yeah, no, she his daughter, the lawyer's daughter, is a backup singer for Beyonce, and then they also started working on a movie about the lawyer's life after the case was closed.
Yes, because remember he
With
tried
Rock
to say
Nation.
as well that the lawyer is the one who advised him not to testify.
Exactly. So they were working against his interests, his own lawyer. So
But they threw that one out,
that can
though.
scrap the case, huh?
They threw that case out because he tried to appeal based on that, and they said, "Hey,
Yeah.
we
I
don't
don't know
care."
why though, because that I think that's just there's if you got ties to the other party, that's like I don't know, that's dodgy, innit?
To be fair. That's why his dad was shouting outside the court like that. Because I never understood why.
Was he upholding?
He's like, Rock
that
Nation, you
whole-
crumble.
Was he upholding that whole no snitch thing as well? The father?
His dad snitched AF.
No, but he didn't come out to say
Yeah.
that it was Kelsey that shot.
Yeah, he didn't. To be fair,
So
but
why
he said
is
Rock Nation did
everybody
it. He said Rock Nation did
who's
it.
on that side just keeping them out shut? Is it because of the code of the street?
Do you know what? It's what you. To be fair, yeah, because I think when I thought the snitching thing, I thought, I forgot that he's not snitching for a woman, and I don't think, because the thing is where that code derives from, right? The people within that such code, they let women go to jail for shit that they did. That they hide guns and drugs in women's houses and just watch the women go to prison. So surely
Oh yes, facts.
that can't be the same code and same message you're trying to protect.
What are you saying, Black Rob? You think that if it's found that Megan was lying, that she shouldn't be able to work in this
This town again.
I I think that's gonna happen anyway. Her career's on the nosedive anyway. So, this thing was supposed to. I think they thought that this was gonna propel her through. Like, do you know, like how I'm not comparing it, but I'm comparing the fact. It was the Rihanna thing that afterwards everyone was on her side because it kind of propelled a little bit more because of what happened to her and they thought that was going to happen with Megan, but because there's too many question marks around it, it's actually worked against her career, and she's going to be forever linked to this. So I don't know if it matters anymore. Anyway, there's enough people that are like, if you see in the comments of anything, half of them is like free Tory, half of it is like, oh, I love you. Like, there's too much dissent in her audience now.
Yeah, it's all just weird, man.
Yeah.
But lastly, still trigger warning though, is day 3 of the Diddy trial. So you see how yesterday a lot of people's opinions. I was listening to Breakfast Club as well, but people were basically saying that how they feel as though the prosecution did not do a good job in trying to get the trafficking charge stick. I think they have.
That's what I was saying.
I think they have yesterday. I think, and today. So today, Cassie is going to be cross-examined. Yes. And they were hoping to do it yesterday, but yesterday was just too much all over the place. There was just too much going on with the court yesterday and whatever else. So today is when they're going to do cross-examination with the defense. So that'll be very interesting to see how they come back from it. But I think based on yesterday, they did a good job of showing that it really is an organized crime. Yeah. Trigger warning, please, 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 just tune out if you need to. Wish I could. Yeah. If actually I can, let me not make it seem like I work for for an oppressive organization.
I don't know why they let Diddy's kids in the court, man.
I think that's weird. Yeah. I think it's so but then actually, I was saying to Brent earlier before the show started, right? Because people are saying, oh, they can't believe his kids are supporting him, and I don't understand that, because I think I've spoken about this before when we've talked about. When we want, I think we're talking about that guy in America. This is early TDA. Okay. But I've brought it up in other ways. I think when we talk about like Mandela's wife and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Basically, people want people to make sacrifices, right, for the greater good, for good morals and whatever the case is. Yeah. But then when it comes to what the day-to-day logistics of that looks like, it's not quite practical. You cannot be saying that you don't think Diddy's kids should be supporting Diddy when he is literally the breadwinner of the family. The mum is dead. Yeah. The mum is dead. He's the reason. He's how they get food.
What they're gonna do?
He's how they're living with him. Exactly. It's for me, unless the community is going to come together and say, "Oh my gosh, these innocent kids, we are going to make sure that you are taken in." It makes no sense why these kids will not support their dad. Also, there is a whole thing about the things that they would have witnessed. So based on what Cassie was saying yesterday, Cassie was not the only person that was abused in this situation. There's been assistants that have been slapped. There's basically been workers and people around that have also been assaulted by him, right? I don't know why anyone would think, and I think this is why they're able to, because if I was his child, I'd be thrown up in that courtroom. The judge would have said, "Get out, don't ever come back." But I don't see why he wouldn't display abusive traits with his children. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay. I'm not saying
I don't think he does with the daughters or the youngest.
Say again?
I reckon he didn't with the youngest. I have no proof of any of this, but like
I
feel like he was involved in the sons in all the madness, but like the twins and all that stuff, I don't know.
Involved.
You would think that. You would think that, but the thing is, the way abusive parents are.
Yeah.
Because it's I'm not saying that he has to hit them or anything like that. But it's stuff like shouting at them. It's stuff like, I believe those kids are in there because if they're not in there, then they're going to be cut off.
You think so?
That's financial abuse. Absolutely.
I think it's, honestly, I think it's because they love the man.
I don't think, I do think they love their man, but victims of abuse love their abusers. Like,
but
that's not shocking. But I also think that, I think they would have seen him be abusive and whatever. Remember was it Rodney or one of the people that filed a lawsuit? He said how his son was in there. The one that really looks like him. Mini him. Christian.
Christian.
How he was in the studio that day. He shot the guy. So I don't think the violence or the alleged violence and the alleged aggression and anger that he has, they're far removed from that reality. Absolutely, they love their father because that's what God intends for us to love our parents. But I don't think it's fair for people to. I think I'm judging the boys more than I am the women. But then even when I say I'm judging them, not so much, because how are they going to live?
Do you know what it is? I kind of see it like somebody who, I don't know, who's a strict parent. Let's just say it's someone who's a mafia boss,
Yeah.
for example. Obviously, he might be a killer, for example,
Yeah.
in the streets, yeah.
Very sweet at home.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Like, and I think,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
don't get me wrong. I think some of the anger and stuff will show itself in the house because you're a human being.
Yeah.
You get angry at certain things, but I don't think the things he would do outside, the heinous things.
I don't think he's having sex
They've
in front of his
seen-
children, but I do
No,
think.
no, of course.
Bringing that
not.
home.
I don't think he's having sex in front of his children, but I do think he gets violent in front of his children.
Of course.
Because people
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like that, they don't know how to.
Yeah.
They don't know how to control it. And also, their mum was not with their dad because he allegedly was violent towards her. Like, so basically, what I'm saying is, I think the children are victims too.
Okay, I think I understand the way you're the way
Yeah.
you're saying it, yeah. But the reason why I think it's not strange is because, unfortunately, I hate to say this, unfortunately, so many homes are like that where
Yeah.
their parents are angry, shouting at each other, maybe even abusive, and those kids still love both parents. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
It's normalized,
But-
isn't it?
For a time.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah.
they just see like, you know what, my dad, he's an animal at
Yes.
times, but I loved it, man. You
But
know
I
what I'm saying?
also, though, I am still of the mindset that I don't think they're allowed to miss a court date. Is what I'm trying to say. I get that they love him or whatever, but you also got to remember that initially when Cassie's lawsuit happened, he started doing family content.
Yeah, he probably told them to do it for optics.
Exactly. Do you remember they started
Yeah,
posting
that's
like
true.
really nice Snapchats and I remember his son did a whole said I'm getting into vlogging and I'm gonna show our family life and oh my gosh we're just so happy we're happy family. So it's
Can't
very
PR your way out of this
orchestrated.
one.
It's very planned.
Yeah.
Because don't them kids have school?
Yeah.
I don't- I don't
I think all these like old now, you know.
And also as well, think about it, yeah. The last child is a baby.
Yeah.
The baby can't crawl up in there. But guess who can? The baby's mother who's got 2 crutches. I think there's a financial hold on these people and they all have to show up. I'm not saying that they're not also showing up because they love him.
Yeah.
But I think that if they got to a point where they're like, oh my gosh, this is disgusting. I can't believe you did that. I don't want to go to court. I think that there will be. I think the conversation will be, well, I pay for this, I pay for that, and if you want that to carry on, you will be in court.
Do you think
Quick one.
it's... No, go on.
I think the prosecution did a bad job, and why I say that is that because, like, I think Macon Newham in the chat said Cassie isn't much of a victim after what their court said, and that was the issue that I had. Is like they took out of context. Cassie was almost the one orchestrating a lot of the stuff, but really, it was obviously. Well, to me, it looked like Diddy has puppeteered for the background for so long that she's just doing it without him.
Exactly.
Like actively coercing her in the moment, but it's over years and months of like
And you know what?
brainwashing and abuse that now she got Stockholm syndrome, so she's the one even then like going out calling the
That she
prosecutors.
knows what to do, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks to the prosecutor like, wow, she's the one orchestrating everything. And if in the minds of most of the jurors, some of them might not be like emotionally intelligent to understand Stockholm syndrome, and they'll be like, well, you're the one that called him, you're the one that said
Yeah.
PM me, and you're the one that said, so what's the problem?
But I think they showed that yesterday, though. So
changed yesterday, exactly,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
they
so
changed
the
yesterday.
day 2, they were saying that they showed. I feel like they just showed an overall picture of what that relationship looked like, and I would say that day 3 yesterday was when they really showed how he's basically the one behind it, because to be fair, I mean, from day 2, I couldn't understand how saying that she asked the guy to pee on her means that that's something that she enjoys, something that she like. I couldn't understand why anyone would think then that she's an active, willing participant to that.
There's a lot of
Because in the same
simple-minded
breath-
people, though. That's the
in
thing.
the same in the same testament, she's also saying that, oh, I didn't want to do, I'll try and speed up the process, I'll try and do this and try and do that. And so yesterday they really did show that, because they also showed, they asked as well if she told her mum. So basically there was actually a video apparently that went out public where was it, I think you like something happened, right? To the point where like it looked like her, but they didn't name the celebrities that was involved in, like there was a fight or there was something, there was some kind of assault.
Yeah.
They didn't name the celebrities or whatever. And then her mum sent it to her and was like, oh my gosh, is that you? And she denied and said no, it wasn't. And then they asked her, why did you say? She said she didn't want her mum to know that he's abusive towards her. And they
Yeah.
said, oh, did your mum know about the freak off? She said no. And then, but there's another time where he did assault her and she ran to her mum for help. And then they said, okay, but did you tell your mum about it? She said no, I didn't want that. And also yesterday showed that a lot of her actions was because he was holding the tapes over her head.
Yeah.
So he threatens her with the tapes, even the whole Kid Cudi thing. So that's how he got the relationship to be ruined, because he basically said that I'm going to show these tapes, and he also it was a whole thing about I'm going to ruin your career, I'm going to ruin your public image. If you don't do what I say, essentially these tapes are going to be leaked. So they had many text messages where she would be like, oh, delete them and do this and do that. Like, I think they did a really good job yesterday of showing how he orchestrated things, and like she, to be
I hope
honest,
so, but-
the trauma is she does remember quite a bit because they showed her many different escorts, which is why again that whole thing about he's not paying for it is void because they had so many to the point where he would message her and be like, she'll be like, oh, this person's not available, but that person is, but then you know this like. They gave way more details yesterday, and then also they also showed when it was that she was trying to walk away from the relationship, and how he kept getting her back. Where it's like, I will do this, I will do that. But what I liked was her honesty in that there was one time where I think, anyway, this whole thing is trigger warning. This whole thing is trigger warning. But after the relationship ended, he broke into her house when she was with her now current husband. As in that was, I think they weren't married then, but they were relationship. He broke into her house and he raped her.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then when she talked, she was like, it was just about control for him to like, if I want you, I can have you kind of thing. And then there was another time when she said, I don't know if it was after that, whatever, where she says that they had sex again after that. And they were, but she was like, it was voluntary. And they were like, oh, why? But she was like, because, second?
Yeah, so I was going to mention that. It's like, and unfortunately, some of the jurors are like, yeah, why do you sleep with them afterwards? And it's like, yeah, they don't understand Stockholm Syndrome, innit? So,
but I think they showed that though.
Okay, hopefully, I hope they did, didn't it?
I think they did. I think in her honesty of being like, because she easily could have, because the situation is that bad, right? Obviously, I know you're not meant to lie on the stand, right? But how will they know if we're talking about how crazy these things are? She could have easily said, oh yeah, we slept together because he forced me or whatever the case is. But she was like, no, it was voluntary. And when they asked her why, she said, because, like, she basically said, because he convinced me of this. Like, essentially, it just proved that she was a victim of abuse who was still stuck in that relationship kind of thing. I think they did a great job yesterday of showing that it is a whole operation, and then also showing that the kind of people on his payroll. So she talked a lot about how like what would happen, what the process is like when every time he would assault her and they have to be in public. So for example, she brought up the D-Rock guy a lot. He was aware of the abuse and whatever, but I don't know, he must be on his payroll because he was upset by it. But and she could tell that he was upset by it, but there was nothing he would do. There was even one time he was like, oh, like, come on, we've got to go ice your face. And then also when he would assault her and she asked, and they would take it to, I think I reported this when she brought the lawsuit, how she basically gets locked away to heal. When she looks normal again, then they'll bring that, then she comes back out. And all of that is people doing that for him. Because she would say how she would get snuck into hotels where she's hidden so that they can't see any bruises or whatever the case is. And then when things are better or whatever. So it just showed how much things were there. And also like even her saying like she couldn't get away from him. And he let her know that I know where you are and I'm going to come here. Do you know what I mean? Like she could never get away from him. And then there was times as well where he would, obviously, this was from the other day as well, where she said how the way he would punish her. He used his assistants to punish her. And then they were like, oh, what's the punishment? He would like, it could be anything. He would take my device, he would take this, he would take that. And they were like, when do you get back? He was like, whenever he's ready to give it back to me. So there was I think they did a great job in showing how, yes, there were things that she did, but it's not because she's, she's that way. It's because she knows the routine. She knows what's going to happen. She knows that you do this first, then you do that, then you do that, then you do that kind of thing. But it was crazy. It's very, very wild, and I've obviously just given a summary. But there was a lot of stuff. I just feel for her that she's pregnant and she has to, because our babies are so sensitive when they're in your stomach, and the emotions that you feel and stuff, like all of that can be passed on to your baby. And this is so traumatic, and I just can't imagine how she's been. But I'm hoping that after the cross-examination, they don't need her anymore. She can just leave and just move on and then prepare to get to deliver her baby. But it is very horrible. It's very horrible.
Yeah.
But I think now I don't think, because I just wasn't sure where they were going with it. But remember I did say that because it's still early, I think they're building it to get to a place where they can now show that this is an organized crime. And I think yesterday was the beginning of that. It'd be interesting to see what his defense comes with, like how they're going to question her and all that kind of stuff. And I think as well, it's weirder because even the Kim Porter thing, first of all, I'll be sure I know he's very glad. He's meant to be, I suppose he's meant to be a witness or something. I think that I saw reports of that.
I think he was saying he's willing to.
Oh, he's willing to. Okay. I know he's willing.
Yeah, but what does what he has to say have anything to do with trafficking? All he's going to talk about is how he feels that.
No, because remember Cassie. So when Cassie said that when the first encounter with Diddy, when she first met in the hotel, Kim Porter was the one who invited her. That's still like it's facilitating. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
And I think it also goes into the whole organized crime sort of thing.
Yeah.
The fact that Diddy, obviously paraphrasing it, the fact that maybe Diddy didn't like certain things about I'll Be Sure, he arranged for him to get into to be, I don't know, taken care of. The threats on his life and all that stuff speaks to somebody doing something for Diddy to threaten him. You know what I'm saying? So
they need to get Sugar on the phone. Because Cassie said, she remembers when he would drive out to get like to him and blah blah. And then she also she talks about like she talks about a lot of stuff that just shows. I think it proves what it is that they're actually trying to prove. So it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. I actually don't think he's gonna get away with it. I don't believe in the justice system, and I think that there is a potential he could get away with it. But I mean, obviously, I'm hoping he doesn't.
Right, they're gonna have a good conviction rate. Because after the Young Thug one, I was like, but the Young Thug one, they do. They have a high conviction rate. But the Young Thug one, I was like, I thought he was going away, and they messed that one up.
Joke.
But then,
and they were saying that Young Thug could have got a better deal as well.
That was the biggest joke. I literally quoted "Truly Humble" on the God the other day. I can't remember in what context, but I did. I think that was one of the most iconic things I've ever seen.
That was a mess. In
my life. I think Judge Judy would have been speechless. But yeah, it will be. It's interesting, but I do think it's a bit sick that his kids are in there. And like his kids are in there during Cassie's testimony. So they weren't there for the escort. The girls weren't there for the escort.
Yeah, they got up in it. Yeah.
But then they're all there for Cassie's one. It's weird. It's mad. Like, but yeah, it just shows, because it's sick. Because even when this man is not there, he's got them performing for him on FaceTime. Do you know how sickening that is? And she talked about even like on her, I think, what birthday was it? Was it, I don't know how old she is now, but it was one of her birthdays. How did you celebrate your birthday? They asked her. She said a freak off. Also, sorry, I forgot to say this. She said that she constantly had UTIs. She talked about the other day how she had to have the freak offs on her period, which I couldn't imagine anything worse. But she talks about she constantly had UTIs and she constantly had sores in her mouth and on her tongue.
Come on, that's
constantly. So she was constantly like on some form of medication. And she said that she will still have to do the freak offs with him knowing that she's got some kind of, it's a UTI STI, isn't it? Yeah. She's got STIs and she's got sores in her mouth and she'll still have to do the oral sex. She'll still have to do everything, knowing that she's dealing with that. And also as well, when it came to the medication for these things, who got it for her? His staff. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I think they're doing a good job in showing. It's just, let's just see how the defense, how they cross-examine her today. But they wanted to get it over and done with yesterday, and the judge was like, "Listen, it's been a long day. People got to go." She was like, "Please."
Some of the details in the freak offs, because
it's sickening.
Oh my goodness,
it's sickening. Do you know what it is? It's, you know when they say depravity, is it depravity or depravity?
Both of them.
That's why I'm with Brent. Like, this is more than a freak off. I think it's
more.
I'm
telling you,
and you know what?
It's a ritual, man. It's ritualistic.
Yes. Freak off is the term freak off is annoying me now, because freak off just sounds like, you know, when them little sex parties people wear masks,
it's more than
and
that.
It's all consensual sex. That freak off term is really, really annoying me now, because I'm like, this is literally debauchery of the highest. It's
ritualistic,
nasty.
Man.
It's absolutely nasty. Now, what do you mean you got her storing semen to then pour on your nipples? Are you all right?
Insane.
And then when it didn't come out, you went back and asked the guy, "Where's your semen at?"
Do you know that's the stuff that Aleister Crowley used to do? You know, or that
those the bars that's being used.
No, that's
no.
Wait, Emmanuel. Sorry.
Why are you just bringing man into things that
Sorry,
he's uncomfortable for?
Just want it confirmed
that he has semen on nipples.
Who's semen?
So basically, Cassie will sleep with an escort.
Sorry, do you know this information, Emmanuel?
Yeah.
Can you say it, please?
This guy.
You're sickening.
I didn't know about the.
Your actual one.
I didn't know about
you've had a lot of airtime, and I want you to drink some more.
This guy is so annoying.
Brent, I ain't talking tomorrow. I ain't hoping it's back to I ain't talking nothing.
Go on, Emmanuel.
I heard, obviously, the trigger warning all over the damn place. I didn't know about the storage stuff, but what I heard basically is like, in the act of what they're doing, he would want the escort to obviously finish on Cassie. Yeah. Then he would take the finished product and rub it on his.
So he would scoop it and then rub on his nipples.
Yeah, but then she said as well that the escort's food finished in. Don't interrupt me, because you are being a witch. He wanted you to say it.
Imagine.
But no, yeah, so the escorts will have to finish in her.
See, yeah.
And
I'm
then,
sure I heard
because
that part.
because apparently one time, which is that one of the escorts didn't, he faked it or something like that. No, I think it was the escort that said this, that he faked it. And so, because he never understood, so he was like, how they would just leave, like after this, they will always leave the room. He never understood. So then he faked it one time, and then they left. Obviously, nothing happened. And so then Diddy came back and was questioning him and was like, are you sure that you finished and whatever else? If he doesn't go to jail yet, I think he should just be, called up.
This is
Good morning,
everyone's
Femster.
crazy, man.
Morning, guys. I don't want to keep you long because I know you've been running long, but I don't know if you mentioned this, but I was listening to Breakfast Club yesterday, and you see the comments that every comment that you see under this thing is, oh, but this just shows us domestic violence. He's not being tried for domestic violence, all of that stuff. And I remember yesterday, man was saying about key witnesses and all of that. And what they were saying on the Breakfast Club is this trial is scheduled to go minimum 4 weeks, so there's a lot more to come. So what they're doing is they're building a picture, and a lot of this stuff that people are saying is just assault, sexual assault, and stuff like that. But then they're saying people need to read the definition of things like sex trafficking. That when you start introducing drugs, coercion, all of that stuff, which is basically what she talked about for 2 days, that then becomes not assault but sex trafficking, because you're taking people from place to place, filling them with drugs. So do you see what I mean? So people need to read up on the laws rather than saying, oh, this just shows assault and all of that. And number two, the fact that people are just like, oh, well, he's not being tried for that, it just shows that as a society there's just something wrong with us, man. Like, people are hearing this and they don't even feel nothing. They're just like, oh, he's not being tried for that, is he? And it's just like, I was listening to Free Shots the other day, and Marv was saying something about, you're saying kinks. Like, people always say, oh, don't kink shame and all of this, but sorry, this is not right. This is weird stuff, man. Like, and I think that people should be able to say, like, this is not normal behavior. Like, I don't want my children to grow up in a society where they think that anything that they do sexually is right. Like, is this what people are getting off in their home? And just because they don't have money like he does, like, they're just desensitized to things like this. Like, this stuff is not normal, man.
But that's what society going though.
Do you know what's been annoying me the most? Is because, just adding on to what Femsa was saying about the things that people are like, oh, it's not domestic violence, oh, this is, do you know what I mean? All that stuff. What's been irritating me the most is people that are making comments that, oh, I can't believe that Cassie's man has got to hear all these things that she's done sexually. You are hearing a victim of abuse talk about the abuse she went through, and what you care right now, what you care about, what you're picking up from this is body count and the fact that, oh my gosh, as a man, you shouldn't be with a woman that's been with X amount of guys. I think some people, you just can't, like, nothing will ever be able to save you. Nothing can ever save you. Nothing can absolutely ever save. I just think it's mad. It's mad. But I do think people are desensitized to things. Like, it's gist to them. It's just interesting gist. It's just like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Leave a crazy comment. And it's mad. Because I think things like this happen. I think that people that are rich, are able to facilitate this in several other ways. But I've heard things that people have joked about on podcasts or whatever the case might be publicly, and it's beginner level. Like, that's the starter pack to where Diddy is now. It's weird.
It's horrible.
It's weird.
And you see all this domestic violence stuff that people are saying, like, they're building to something. So this is all the sex stuff. They haven't even started with all the drugs and the violence and the guns and the moving, trafficking escorts from one state to another, all of that type of stuff. Eventually, he might get proven innocent, but it's not because he hasn't done anything.
Exactly.
They're proving it layer by layer. This is only, 3-4 days in. They're saying the trial is going to last minimum 4 weeks. So
8 weeks,
Yeah, so you know,
Question from
people
Scott,
have to.
right? Fernand says, rightfully so, if it's genuinely consensual, if the choice of rubbing the male semen from another man on your nipples is just consensual, then like, what's the
Well,
problem?
apologies, but I think the word grooming must come into consensual as well.
Let's remove that. Let's remove that, right? Let's just say he was in the corner in the room and he's hired this man for entertainment. And what did you say, man? Entertainment what? And time?
Yeah.
Entertainment and time, right? And she's fully on it. There's no grooming involved. Like, let's just say she's 50. Because I just want to remove this particular Cassie situation here because obviously this is not consensual, right? Because I think a lot of people are icked out at the idea, the picture of semen from another man on his nipples, right? But isn't that just like what gay sex involves?
No, that's consensual.
Like, listen, let's just say it's consensual. Listen, that's what I'm talking
no, but that's
about.
the thing.
I'm talking about the consensual stuff.
I don't understand. We can't say let's just say it's consensual when Fernand's point is to do with this case.
No,
so we can't.
So he's talking about people being at the gay stuff.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
Okay,
He's
all
not
right.
talking about that.
All right.
That is
I
the
understand
that
what
was
you're-
saying that
Yeah,
some
I understand what you're
kids should be
saying
shamed,
now. Okay.
right?
All
This is
right.
what- this is
Now,
what-
I'm shaming certain kinks, man. I'm
This is
shaming.
premise, right?
I'm shaming every black man that was at Murad Morelli's hotel room. I am every black man that was
Wanting an
letting
Arab to
himself
kick
get.
them and call him nigga.
I'm shaming you.
Step on.
Yes, because women he was calling thingies. I'm
don't know how
sorry.
he's been
Certain
allowed
kinks.
to come back
Sometimes
in
people need
the
to be shamed
mix,
for
mate.
certain things.
That is mad.
So people. He's back, you know. I forget that. I'm abusing that. He never left. You're right. He never left. No, he just took a little sabbatical. I think certain kinks people should be shamed for. I'm sorry, no. Don't tell me if you don't want to be shamed about it. That's where I stand with that.
you know what, Brent? What my answer to that is also there's certain kinks that people do that they'll never ever tell you about. That means that they know that it's whether it's their kink or not, it's behind closed doors, so we never ever hear about it. Why is that? If it did, if it was all right and they thought it was all right, why don't they publicize it? But there's certain kinks that are done behind closed doors for a reason, which is, it's not, whether you think it's kink shaming or whatever, people will have an opinion if they hear this type of stuff. If it's just without the coercion, as you're saying, or without the abuse part of it, if people just started saying all their kinks in public that are not, I don't know, man. For me, this is not normal behavior. But
It's not.
and you can call me kink shamer, whatever you want to call me, but that's my thought process. And there's a reason why it's done in the dark, in the secret places, in the secret sex clubs, and all of this type of stuff, and not done in public. Why is it not done or publicized?
Nah.
That's the question
You know
I'd
the
like to
demons.
ask.
The demons, the sexual demons, yeah. As I don't mean the human beings, I mean in the realm that come and give man these ideas. They're working overtime. I think of all the demons, they're the most successful.
I was gonna say, I don't think it makes it illegal though. The way Femster has described it, you're making it sound like
No.
having a kink behind closed door is not. It's not.
No. Not at all. Not at all. I did not. No, not at all. No.
So I mean, what are you trying to say? Because what we're hearing, at least to most of us, this is not normal. It's outside normal sexual practice. But
That's literally what I said.
yeah, but if that's what they like,
Johannes.
and it's
Good
not
morning,
against your-
Johannes.
Good morning, Brent.
I want to talk to Brent like that. Good morning, Brent. Sorry, sir, as you were.
Yeah, sorry. What was I going?
See, now
Yeah,
we're
I think what I was trying to say. His sexual practices. I don't see. I mean, at the moment, from what I've heard, I don't see what the issue is. Apart from apart from obviously him abusing it. So take the abuse out. I'm talking about just the sexual practices and what's happened. I can't see where the crime has been committed at this point. So far, it looks like it's domestic abuse. The sex trafficking.
But then that's the thing, Johannes. That's what they're saying. If you read the definition of sex trafficking, when you start introducing things like drugs, coercion, violence, telling people they don't do this, That's the problem. That's where you're going to run into. So I think with the law, I think
No,
the same
but
thing,
so
like where
far-
you're looking at when Tory went, people didn't actually look at what he was up for. So when you're talking about sex trafficking, those things now, not domestic violence, those are sex trafficking, where you're piling people with drugs to do what you want, basically.
But so far from what I've heard, remember I haven't heard the whole thing, but from what the snippets I've heard, it sounds like that's Cassie's problem. According to what I've heard, it seems like the people involved were willing participants to take these drugs. It doesn't sound like it was by force. It sounds like, oh, I got some ketamine. Okay, cool. Let me take some and we continue doing what we're doing. It doesn't
Well, I
seem
don't know
like
about
that's where
that
the
because
trafficking-
there was a time where she said that she was introduced to drugs through
Yeah.
a Gatorade bottle that she didn't know about it, and then
okay,
he
no, that's
basically
different.
introduced her to
Yeah.
the drugs and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And what
So-
about the laced baby oil?
Well,
You know, they
there
said
you
the
have
baby
it.
oil was laced with stuff in it.
Oh, okay, no, that's different. If
That's
you're talking about that, I mean,
They
I
ain't
haven't
gone
heard
to the
this
baby
part
oil yet.
yet.
They introduced it a little bit.
Yeah. If the baby oil that's laced with something, that could explain why he wanted so much of it at a time. Maybe that could make. Cause I did wonder. I don't know how people have sex for that duration of time.
Do you know she
It
said one of them was
seems
4
incredible.
days? 4 days long.
Why would you even want to have sex for that long? Why would you even want
That's the whole point.
even
She
if you're
doesn't
not
want to.
participating? No, I
Guy's
mean,
a
forget her.
sicko.
I'm talking about Diddy. Why
Oh,
would
you
you
about
even
Diddy,
want to watch someone having sex for 4 days straight?
He's
I mean, he must get tired at some point.
mind.
Rituals.
He's actually got
No.
such a depraved and scary mind. But that, it's interesting.
Yeah.
'Cause I think, I don't even know, man. Anyway, we'll see, because Chow is too much. But it's interesting that this.
The only thing is, I just
You
don't
go-
want people celebrating if he gets found not guilty.
I
I
couldn't-
don't like that.
I couldn't see
like
that.
you can't celebrate this type of, especially as a father of a daughter. I could never celebrate if he gets off. You know, on whatever he gets off, good for him. But if people start celebrating and saying, well, like this is someone that should be put on the back burner for a long time, man.
So you know what's interesting? You know how like with Tory Lanez, for example, if Tory Lanez wasn't found guilty, people would have said, "Oh, he didn't shoot her then." Yeah. But that's because this is the one case. Like, this is what the situation is about. With Diddy, to add to what Fem's saying, if he isn't found guilty by chance, surely no one's going to say he didn't do the things that they said he did. Because really and truly, not many people are focusing on the, is it a RICO charge, right?
Yeah.
On the RICO charge anyway, right? But surely though, people will still think this guy is a sicko because we've seen him abuse this woman. We've heard the stories of things that was going on there. Surely he will not
everyone
just integrate back into the scene like nothing happened.
Everyone in the industry is all about self-preservation. Even when he first got arrested, half of them were defending him because they weren't sure if he was, because he's always been bulletproof his whole career. So they thought, let me not get his bad side. So they waited till it was clear that he was done, and that's when, like, even Charlemagne, if you noticed, he used to like defend him and stuff like that. But then when he realized, okay, it's safe for me to criticize him, then he started like making jokes about him.
He's
So I think they're all
annoying.
about self-preservation. If he comes out and then he gets back with all his billionaire donors and he's back on top, you're going to see everyone's shoot change because they don't want to bomb on their car. Do you know what I mean?
That's mad. I can't see a world where Diddy goes on like he did back then.
I don't think he will. I think they'll wash their hands of him.
I was
But
gonna say, I think Diddy's done. He's not coming back. And I think like,
Yeah,
when you
but- Do you think he learned from this, even if he gets off, like, or
He
will
can't- I
they
don't think
just
he's
these
I think he's
parties will
incapable.
just these
Too far
parties will start all over again with his sons, all of this type of stuff.
No, I don't think.
You think he's the only one
it's
doing
like
the
a
parties?
Jonathan Majors thing where you can just go to therapy and like, this is a very deep,
he needs
sick,
exorcism.
since you were that you were young type of thing. I don't think this is like a just go to therapy, go to TD Jake's church and whatever else. I don't think he's gonna learn. I think he's annoyed he got caught.
Yeah, I think he's not. Yeah, I think he's definitely annoyed. But I think he's. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think he has learned before the trial started, because you know when he changed his name to Brother Love,
No,
he
but
seemed like he was going through something.
That was PR.
wasn't learning. That was PR. That was because he knew this
That's
was
PR.
coming.
That's PR.
It was PR.
You know, Dirk did the same thing.
Because think
When
about
he knew
it.
that the case
Remember
was
when?
coming.
You guys remember when we saw the Cassie lawsuit, and he said nope, didn't do it. Blah 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 blah. Video
Yeah.
came out. He said, "Hey guys, I've been to therapy. I found God. I am repented, and I'm sorry to everybody that hurt." Do you remember? He denied it.
Yeah.
He paid this woman $20 million and denied it. Came out in public and said, "You can't get me down. Can't take me down. I didn't do anything. These are all lies." This is what he said. He said, "These are all lies." We see the video. He came out and said, "Hey, I'm a changed man now." That man
Yeah,
can't change.
he made a mistake. You should have just kept
Just
quiet.
always he was like, "I made a mistake. I'm closer to God now." They always say they go to therapy.
That's the one.
they now go to church. Again, I told you what church they tend to go to. Have a SPAC Nation or they go to TDJ's church. And then all of a sudden now I'm a changed person and I'm doing better. And then that's when they then cue in, because that's when he then started doing family vlogs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm such a present and active father, and my girls are going to prom, and oh my gosh, wholesome family.
You know, just so funny. You know, right, little Dirk started posting pictures of him at the mosque all the time and giving back to the community. I was like,
He
this guy's
said
got a
Islam as well?
Rico kid coming. He's got a kid
Sorry,
coming.
he's Muslim now.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Muslim.
He's changed his name and everything.
There's a TikTok guy that that needs, anyway, I'm not going to give him like, but there's some stupid TikTok guy that he claims to be a personal trainer, and a woman had a consultation and he showed his penis to her, and then obviously that is a crime, and then all of a sudden now he's Muslim. He was a Christian before, but because he knew the case was coming, because the girl had gone to the police and wherever else, he's now a devout Muslim. They always turn to religion. They always use the religion to be like, hey,
Rebrand.
I don't rebrand. I'm not even that. I don't know who that man is anymore. That is the old me, and is dead and gone. Well, anyway, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what the defense is saying today, and then we'll talk about it tomorrow. But I hope this. I'll be honest. I hope this is the last of. This is all they need from Cassie, because I just think I can't imagine being pregnant and having to like sit on there for like 6 hours on end, just answering the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to you in your life. Like, it's horrible. It's very, very horrible. But they did a great job in showing that he's really got control. Because they asked as well, like, I think I mentioned it, if she would ever witness to him like assaulting other people and whatever. And one time it was on holiday. One time it was even like when they were on holiday, they had escorts. They were able to arrange escorts, and she's giving all the platform that they use and stuff like that. So it really is a whole thing, man. And I want them to call in that Christina woman, because as soon as he got, was it charged or something? She's always been his right hand man, his right hand girl. As soon as he got charged, she said, "I'm out." So I think that, and Cassie's mentioned her, that she was she's basically like his right hand. I hope she's going to be called to stand or something.
They were getting escorts from Craigslist with their personal phone number. Like, what?
Yeah.
This is.
It's a full-on operation, you know. Like, it's a full-on operation. It's just the fact that when the staff knew what to do. They knew that, okay, if we mess up the hotel too much, you pay the hotel off so they can clean the room, or they can sort out the room and whatever else. When he hits her, they know what to give her to like help. When she's got her UTIs or she's got the STIs, they know what medication to get her to do that. It's a whole operation.
Sad, man.
Anyway, I hope he ends up being soulmates with R. Kelly. But yeah, thank you guys for calling in. Everybody, appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys.
What's next on this show?
People's Journal. Try and do that quickly.
Okay.
Good morning, Christy.
BOE.
Morning. Sorry.
How are you, babes?
Really drag this on, but it's really irritating me, and I would consider myself fairly balanced when it comes to certain things, but this whole narrative of, and again, if the men want to get offended, if the shoe fits, lace that bitch up.
Well, that'll do it.
For me to make certain comments or assumptions that her husband wouldn't know about this is asinine to me.
Christy, literally.
It's very asinine. And even if I wouldn't say he wouldn't be feeling away. Of course he's feeling away. I'm sure he's even made attempts to want to kill Diddy, or not attempts, but made it known that he hates that man because of what he essentially probably found out and why he even got her away from him in the first place. Now, if he now has chosen to marry her, that's him. That is fine. But to make it see, oh my God, that man's good. He's fine. Oh, does her husband know about this? I'm sorry, it's all just a very thinly veiled attempt to just again downplay her as a victim to me, and also lend itself to like, because she's done all these things, she's also not deserving of to be married. To now someone's married her, and that's what it's showing to me personally, and that doesn't sit well with me at all. Because all the comments I've seen is just like, really, is this what we're doing?
Can I add to that? People forget that she said that he actually helped her. He's the one who helped. He's the one who helped her escape. And actually, I forgot. That just reminded me. Thank you, Christy. That in court yesterday, one of the things that Diddy was, one of the text messages he sent her was that he wants his money back. And they asked money for what? And he said money for the trainer. Her husband, Alex Fine, was her trainer that Diddy hired for her. Oh, okay. And that's how she was able to escape, right? So then when Diddy knew that they were together, Diddy then said he wanted her to pay him back for the money, basically, essentially. And then you also remember that Diddy then came into her home while she was still with this man, and raped her. And also, it's funny we're talking about this now, because I went on just on Twitter. I've just seen how, and I remember it went viral at the time, but in 2019 he ran a 50-mile marathon for domestic violence, and the video of them hugging when he finished went viral because of just how, you know when it's like you're hugging someone and it's just so still. There is no way, like Christy's saying, there's no way this man does not know that. As he's sitting there having to hear her deal with this thing, what he's worried about is he's not feeling, I don't think he's feeling uncomfortable hearing about the horrible things she had to do, in the sense of another man has had access to my wife. It's more in the sense of the pain and the hurt that he knows that she's dealt with. She also, this is just reminding me, that she also said how she had PTSD. She said there was a time where, I probably should have told you to put the trigger warning banner up, but she said she tried to kill herself. Said she wanted to walk out into moving traffic, and her husband wouldn't let her. So this man is very aware of everything that she's been through. I don't think he's just finding out for the first time. He's aware of everything that she's been through, and he's helped her through her healing. And like she said, she had to do like trauma therapy. Like she's had to do so much. And there was an incident. I said there was something like there was like a knife through the door, but I don't know whether that was. I don't know what it was. And she said like she's basically just had like moments of like anger. She's dealt with so much, and he's been there with her the whole time. I think it's so pathetic, and it speaks to just misogyny of you hearing something this horrible, and your worry is body counts, is that is you wanting to shame her, because that's what it is you shaming her it's you sex shaming her, but it's also you shaming her husband for being with a woman that you think has been too accessible sexually. It's mad.
It's 100% that.
It's mad.
And
it's mad.
Why is that being brought into this when it's got as this is a case? Is what is mind blowing to me. I don't understand.
Same.
It's just it's dumb.
That's
but these are the immature people still saying pause. But anyway.
Okay, speak on it, girl. That's why I said some people can never be saved. And it's definitely when I said that, I was actually thinking about Christy when she says that sometimes some people you just can't, like you can't afford to, you can't drag them along with you, because they're just not gonna get it, and all they're gonna do is just weigh you down on the fight, on the cause you're fighting for. And that's how I see this. I can't imagine this is what's come to people's minds. You can never be helped. Your brain is fried. Ain't nothing there. It's a breeze. It's crazy, man. But thank you, Christy, for bringing that up.
Thanks.
Very
Bye,
appreciated.
guys.
Bye, girl.
Thank you.
All right, what's the economy saying?
Oh man, a lot of stuff is happening, man. Basically, okay. You know what? The first thing I wanted to mention is, and I think this ties into what. Firstly, welcome to the People's Journal. I'll give you the news from an economics point of view. First thing I wanted to mention is what's happening in Israel, or Palestine, I should say. And this is, I think, what Ramsey was talking about earlier. I'm not too sure, but basically, overnight there was some Israeli airstrikes in Gaza that killed 40 plus people. When I last checked it about an hour ago. Now they're showing more people have died, basically 62 people right at the moment, and counting, unfortunately, have been killed since midnight. The majority were killed in Khan Yunis in the south. And yeah, this is what they've been doing, man. The airstrikes come as an Israeli blockade on aid entering Gaza continues. No supplies, guys. No supplies have been allowed in for 10 weeks. 10 weeks. This is why a man like Gary Lineker is posting what he's posting, because it's all part of the overall agenda of Zionism. All right. With regards to the UK economy directly, the UK's economy grew by more than expected in the first 3 months of the year. It's according to latest figures from the ONS, the Office for National Statistics. The economy expanded by 0.7% between January and March. And this is more than projected. So initially they was thinking it was going to be 0.6%, they being the analysts and whatnot. But this is better than expected. So people are happy about this. Obviously, people are saying, with most things, you're going to have two sides of the equation. And you get some people saying, listen, this is good, strong growth, but it's unlikely to continue. You know what I'm saying? When you now think about the upcoming import tariffs that we're now subjected to, right? And also the increased UK employer taxes as well that we've been subjected to. All of this is going to take effect and affect us from this in this second quarter, right? So this is, again, Q1 of 2025, right? We're expanded, but things changed in April. So we should be seeing the effects of that. This is what analysts are saying. But some businesses obviously are optimistic about these particular findings. Next thing I wanted to mention is the UK. They've made a decision now to allow foreign states up to 15% of a 50% stake in newspapers. Now, I believe sometime last year we were talking about how some of the Saudis were trying to buy certain British newspapers. And they were like, we can't be having this, you know what I'm saying? The Abu Dhabi ruling family, basically, as I shouldn't have said Saudis, but they wanted to take over a particular newspaper. I can't remember which one it is now. But I was saying, how can a foreign state own one of the biggest newspapers in the UK? That doesn't make no sense. Obviously, you'll be able to pump your agenda, you can do certain things. It shouldn't be allowed. Anyway, long story short, the UK government has allowed for 15%. For foreign states to hold up to 15% stake in British newspapers. And yeah, this goes against the previous ban that they implemented when Abu Dhabi ruling family tried to get in on a particular newspaper. And yeah, what they're saying is they've chosen 15% because it's the most effective way to kind of mitigate the risks associated with foreign states taking over newspapers and obviously putting in their agendas potentially, right? But also is low enough to be like, okay, cool, we're not going to hinder the financial stability of certain news organizations. So that's the argument for that. Quickly, guys, who do you rely on more, Every or DHL? Brent included.
Unfortunately, the companies I shop for insist on using Every. I think they've gotten better though. Maybe just the guy in it's the guy in my area. He's such a lovely man. Lovely black guy.
Okay, so he makes it better.
Yeah, he's just lovely. Okay. He's just what's his name? I can't remember his name, but he's such a lovely lad.
Okay.
So pick up him.
But you got good experiences with Every?
Yeah, of late, only because of the driver.
Okay.
See, the drivers who makes experience with the damn company. Left to them, I'll never get that outfit.
See, but you're getting your packages on time and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Obviously, you guys know. Obviously, you guys know they had a reputation before that, but I mentioned this because
they were a thorn in my flesh.
Exactly.
Well, look at Hermes. That's what they were.
That's what they were.
They get my
then
nerves.
They changed up, and I guess things have improved. Anyway, I mentioned all that just to say that Every and DHL, they're linking up, man. They're going to be merging.
Everything they're doing so well now.
So they're gonna form a combined courier firm, right? And they're gonna, I guess, be handling over 1 billion parcels and 1 billion letters annually, right? So yeah, long story short, they're hoping this is gonna make them, I guess, overall powerful working force. This does not include every single part of DHL. So if I'm not mistaken, there is a part, DHL Express International Delivery. That particular service is not included in the deal, but the other parts are. And I believe DHL is going to be under Every in a particular way. So basically, the DHL's e-commerce business is going to be renamed Every Premium, a network of DHL e-commerce. You know what I'm saying? So It's all
Just give me a package, man.
That's all we care about.
It's
innit?
semantics.
You know what I'm saying? Next thing I wanted to mention is, give me a second, guys, is Burberry. I'm not too sure if you guys, rock Burberry.
Men who are about to have kids do baby showers. That's a uniform.
Oh, is it?
Did you even know?
I didn't know this.
A black man in a patterned Burberry shirt.
Yeah.
You know that man is about to have a baby.
All right then.
That's a uniform.
Well, Burberry ain't doing too well at the moment, innit? So maybe not enough of us are having kids and buying into their business.
No,
right?
I think it's because he lives. So now they just wear what's in their wardrobe.
And they've come out to say that they're going to be cutting 1,700 jobs, man. They're trying to reduce costs by the year 2027. And yeah, that's all there is to say about that.
Fair.
And the last thing I wanted to mention is, someone may say, Emmanuel has an agenda here. I do not have an agenda at all here, right? I'm just saying this is what our money gets spent on. And this last thing, by the way, guys, in case anyone wants to question my sources, this particular source is from the Telegraph, yeah? And it speaks about trans toddlers being allowed gender treatment on the NHS. I'm going to say that again. The NHS is treating nursery-age children who believe they are transgender after watering down its own guidance. This is
Ain't like
what the
3 in
Telegraph-
nursery or something.
There you go.
They can't even spell girl or boy.
But remember, he wasn't here, I don't believe, when I played a video where there's this couple who's being interviewed basically at one of these marches or something. And they asked him, when did you know that your daughter wanted to be a trans? You know what I'm saying? And so, around 18 months. 18 months. This is what the woman said.
18 months from when?
No, 18 months old. 18 months
18 months,
old.
as in like 1.5.
Yes. Yeah. Brent, you remember that video, right?
Yeah.
How did they know? Did they ask them for more information?
It was a black couple.
A black couple.
This guy.
I bet I don't
course
care
it
where the flipping couple is from.
Impossible. Impossible. They would have just
how-
slapped the child.
He's one of the black community. How would they know though?
Who knows?
No, but what signs does this child, 18-month-old baby show that says, hey, I don't want to be a girl, I want to be a boy?
I have no idea. It's insane though.
I think people are projecting onto their kids. I think
exactly
that,
it.
because people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have 2 boys and 2 girls. And it's like, you're not in control of that. Just have the sex and leave it to God kind of thing. So I think that people are having the children that they feel like in their heart they desire. And I think that's horrible. Because I don't know how at 18 months, there's no way. I think people are having kids, probably like a boy, and they wanted a girl, and they're like, I'll just dress them in girl clothes. I don't know. I want to look into the story because I need to know. I hope someone's inviting them on a podcast or something. Because black people would invite the person on the podcast to chat and shit. White people, they actually, they screen the kind of people they give airtime to in certain realms. Because I want to know what signs they saw in the 18-month-old baby to let you know that the baby is trans.
Who knows, man? Who really knows?
Black Rob is taking a pop at Demi again.
Why?
Trust the experts. Face. You're not going to read that emoji out. That's crazy.
But yeah, obviously Maggie didn't believe what I'm saying. But I'm being honest with you guys. In fact, let me show you. Let me do what Esther did earlier. Esther, what does this say?
Is that a little baby or is that a model? What?
There you go.
Trans toddlers allowed, what did I say?
Allowed gender treatment.
Treatment on NHS.
Yes.
Trans toddlers. First of all, that's a crazy. Trans toddlers allowed gender treatment on NHS.
There you go. So
like kids are like they're like 2, 3 in nursery, no?
Yeah.
What did they know?
Nothing. But I will say this, just to add a bit more context to this. I mean, I think it's diabolical anyway. But it's not. They're not putting them on any blockers. Obviously, I mean, they're not pubescent anyway.
That doesn't make that. It doesn't.
But just to try and to try and let people know, it's not like they're 14, 15-year-olds. But yeah, but still, I don't even know why I'm trying to even water this down.
If you raise a kid, the way kids are, oh my gosh, it's time to come back. Because the way kids are raised, you're like, what you know of yourself as a child is what your parents have told you. So if you see your 6-month-old toddler or baby and you decide, actually, I have a feeling this baby wants to be a girl. This boy wants to be a girl. And so now you're raising your child to believe that they're a girl. Of course the child's going to flipping grow up and say that, hey, I'm ready. Like, that's how you raise them to be. The same way I was raised to believe I'm Nigerian.
Yeah. This is it.
Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Trans toddlers.
Yeah. So again, I'm just saying, this is not me saying it. I've showed you the evidence, the proof. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously sometimes my information is wrong, innit? So there you are with the information. But I'll just read some of the articles. Obviously, I know some of you won't care to look into it. But just to provide some context. Huh?
I think Ed has posted a video because some people don't believe it. So let's just play it, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Because when people say there are gateways that allow other things, people start telling them, shut up.
I'm glad it says this morning, because you all believe white publications.
Assigned female gender at birth, 4-year-old Stormy Stubbings first began showing signs of identifying as male at just 18 months old.
Well, Stormy's parents say he hated pigtails and dresses, and at the age of 2.5 told his family, I'm not a boy, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy.
Well, despite accepting their son's choice to live as a male, Stormy's parents, Matthew and Clara, say the family have faced a struggle getting some adults to accept Stormy's decision, and they join us now to tell us more. And thank you very much, because I know that one of the reasons you want to come on here and talk about this is to help other parents who may be, and it is a juggle when it first starts, you know, trying to figure out, pick your way through it. And so when did he start to express his choice?
I think.
Who's that fella? His name's Schofield.
Yeah, that's Philip.
Wasn't he in the
so
news
this is old then. Yeah, so this is quite old, yeah.
What year is this? That's like 4 years ago. What did you ask? Wasn't he what?
No, this is last year.
Schofield. Oh, he's the one with the young boyfriend, the GCSE boyfriend.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Is he still on it?
No.
Remember this? Yeah, he left.
Oh, so this
when I saw him, I said, huh? Then I saw Holly. I said, oh yeah, this is old.
All right, I'm finished clipping in. The one
you done it,
yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
You saw what you saw. There was the thing.
Yeah. So that was in obviously reference to what we were speaking about earlier, the video with that parent, I guess. No, in fact, Brent, this is a different child.
It looks like a different.
Thank you. This is a different child.
Was it even British?
Oh, so there's a community of them now.
That was an American.
I think it was American.
The one that we played before, that was an American who was at like a rally or something.
Yeah.
Talking about
so
this.
there's a community now.
Yeah, 18 months old. From then they tell them.
18 months.
This is what they be doing.
Do you know kids don't like? You know, kids don't like. The kids hate when you put socks on them. I mean, the kid wants to be footless.
That's what they want.
Kids hate when you put hats on them. Kids hate hate things. They just don't like things. They don't like things. What does that mean? So if you have a child now and the child doesn't enjoy you putting a jacket on them, what? Child wants to live in Alaska? I can't believe that.
Oh, it's diabolical, man. Maggie said.
We need to bring Dana here back.
I'm telling you. Please share the article in Discord. I don't believe the NHS is giving medical intervention to toddlers. I'm going to get into it. Well, only for 2 minutes. What do you call it?
I'll be honest with you. I don't even care if they're giving medication or not. I don't care about that.
Exactly.
Because again, before you get to the medication stage, you cannot be socializing a toddler or 18-month-old to say, yeah, that's fine. Like, this is my baby is telling me because they don't want to wear dresses that they want to be a boy. Talking about the kid said, oh, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. Do you know who I was when I was a kid? I was Barbie. People were Spider-Man. People were like all sorts. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
18 months. That's got to be child abuse.
This article, yeah. Like,
I thought I could fly.
They held Brent back, man. You should have been Superman.
You should have flown. You should have flown.
So what they're saying is in this article, you might need a subscription in it to get an article in it.
Someone subscribe on it. Yeah, so we're a community here, no?
In fact, I'll screenshot. Yeah, of course, I'll screenshot and put it in there.
Have you got that thing? Yeah. Okay, I just want to do that and then put it in Discord. I ain't paying for nothing. I'm paying for that stupid black hole tunnel. Do you know what?
Man.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just angry again.
All right, so the NHS is treating nursery-age children who believe they're transgender after watering down its own guidance, right? The health service was previously set to introduce a minimum age of 7. So this was what it was before. For 7-year-olds, minimum age of 7 for children to be seen by specialist gender clinics, claiming that anything under that, it was just too young. So this is what the NHS, they said 7, fine, cool, anything, come on now, let's be sensible, under 7. But the limit was removed after the proposals were put out to consultation, with new guidance due to be published showing that children of any age are eligible. However, a source close to the consultation process said that NHS England had caved to the pressure of trans activists to remove the limits. The children are not given powerful drugs, like I said before, such as puberty blockers at clinics, but they're offered counselling and therapy along with their family, right? Up to 10 children of nursery age are being treated, according to new data, while as many as 157 children aged 9 and younger have been referred to clinics. This is what is happening. And we're paying for this. This is what we're paying for, guys. And you're going to say they should take more taxes. Thank you. Anyway, that's how it's linked to the economics in it. But this is the world that we're living in. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the People's Journal, man. I'll screenshot it and throw it in there.
Well, that'll do it.
What else is there? Reaction?
I guess so.
Yeah, quick reaction, Brent, please.
We can do that. Didn't Brent need to leave at 10:30?
I'm mentally there. I didn't want to.
My bad.
Sorry, this is loading. There isn't much to talk about in the reaction. Welcome to the reaction, guys. The only thing really is Manchester United's manager, Ruben, is it Amorim or Amorim, bro?
Whatever you want it to be, it's 11:45.
Well, that guy there, he's basically said, listen, I'm committed to the club. Despite recent poor performances, he says, I'm far from quitting. He doesn't know, obviously, sometimes you could be sacked. But anyway, he acknowledged the possibility of dismissal if results don't improve, emphasizing the need for serious reflection and potential changes within the club. Amorim revealed he's personally covering the cost of his backroom staff's ticket to the Europa League final due to the club's cost-cutting measures under new ownership. And the last thing I wanted to mention is Eddie Hearn. He believes that a Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua fight is achievable, stating that negotiations would only require one phone call. He believes, or rather he's appealing to Tyson Fury, who has hinted at a return to boxing on social media to confirm his comeback and to fight AJ. AJ is scheduled for keyhole elbow surgery, but the fight could happen after September once he's recovered. The absence of world titles for both fighters could simplify the negotiations, and Hearn highlights the improved relationship between himself and Fury's promoter Frank Warren. So hopefully they can get the job done. I can see that our good brother Fernandez put something on the screen. He says the support is strictly limited to psychological services such as counselling and therapy involving the child and their family. Yeah, that's what I said. I said there's no puberty blockers or anything like that. They're supporting the family. What do you think the supporting looks like, though? What do you think the supporting looks like? And that's the question. And also, again, we're paying for this. We're paying for someone to sit down with a family because an 18-month-year-old said, I don't want to wear pink today. I want to wear yellow. They might be something else. Or they come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's be sensible here. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is why we need to choose where our money should go with public services. You see, nobody would donate to this bollocks. Nobody would. Anyway, Brent, let's get into it.
I'd like to stop paying for flipping asthma inhalers.
Telling you know what I'm saying?
This condition. That thing pisses me off.
Finance the question.
Finance
what's
says,
the question?
pay in therapy for children questioning their gender is an issue. The
18
18 months.
18 months. This is
cut the
wrap
cameras.
up.
It just means that when his child does it, then he's gonna be seen.
Yeah, I guess so.
Somebody who he can go to, innit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what therapists should be doing, bro.
So NHS is supposed to be for all,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, why not?
So I pay our taxes.
That's why I work so hard.
This world.
18 months. Irano. Turn the camera off, Josh. Anyway.
Oh, God. All
Okay,
the
well,
best,
good luck.
man.
Did you tell me that so did you just announce that Man United is making Amarin pay for his staff to go
Go what?
to the game?
No, where did you get that from?
What did you say?
No, I was just saying that he said he's committed to the club, innit?
No,
That he's not
he
quitting.
then said he had to pay something.
Oh, serious?
So you read it and you just read it.
I think so, you know. Wait,
You know what's so funny? You said he read it, you just read it. He read it and you just didn't listen. 10 minutes later.
No,
Yeah, Brent is right. Damn, I was
We
just
read it
reading.
wrong.
This is what happens when I talk to certain people. They don't listen. I wasn't listening. I get it. Guys, yeah, anyway, listen. He revealed he's personally covering the cost of his backroom staff's ticket to the Europa League final. Wow, due to the club's cost-cutting measures under new ownership. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's what he's doing personally. Nice one.
Finan said he missed the part where therapy is bad.
Well, you're about to miss the end of the show.
Hey.
Cut the camera.
Let's stop this.
No,
18-month-old cannot talk. Am I mad? 18 months. What a waste of money. Do you know how much I yap in my therapist says I get my money's worth? I get my money's worth. An 18-month-old in therapy. You're paying somebody for your ChatGPT coloring pictures.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, hey, everybody, all the best.
Yeah, man.
Each to their own.
Yeah, this is it. Freedom of speech and that. All right. So, quick one, guys. It's been a great show. It's been a long show. The UK hits back at claims that the US tariff deal was bad for China. Prisoners, apparently, they're going to earn their freedom after serving a third of their sentence under these new plans. Also, we spoke about Gary Lineker apologizing for his anti-Semitic post. And we asked the question of whether he should be sacked. The man said, "I'm sorry." And obviously the people said, nope, the guy is taking you for a fool. We also spoke about South Africans going to the US and how the president said they're cowards. I would say to the president, let him go. You know what I'm saying? This is an easy way to have your damn land back. Next thing I wanted to mention is the taxi driver in France who is charged with stealing from David Lammy and his wife. Diabolical. And assisted dying bill is at risk of collapse. Esther's just going to be real happy with that one. You know what I'm saying? We got answered prayer.
Celebrating. Hallelujah.
And Prince Harry's popularity sinks, man, after a BBC interview where he's attacking his pops, attacking the king, man. And DR Congo may impose curbs on cobalt exports when existing ban ends. And obviously, you heard us talking about Diddy, talking about the trial. Cassie's going to be on the stand today. The defense is basically going to be questioning her. Spoke about Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer, how she or he has responded to Tory Lane's legal team. And he spoke about Halle Bailey as well. And of course, People Journal, we spoke about the economy growing for more than expected in the first 3 months. We spoke about a bunch of other stuff too. And guys, have a blessed day, man.
We've yapped. Thank you all.
Have a blessed day.
Appreciate you, everyone that was on the Discord, got involved. And honestly, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a great and blessed day.
Peace.